Welcome, one and all, to Peoria Stadium and tonight's high school football clash between the Peoria Notre Dame Irish and the Peoria High Lions. Welcome once again, everybody, to Peoria Stadium. I'm Cody Roskins. In the booth with me tonight is Gavin Russell. Gavin, these are two teams that have had pretty good starts to their seasons, and they're looking to close out the year strong. What can we look to try and see the difference between these two teams tonight?
Well, both of them are 6-2, very competitive, very well coached, very versatile. So I think we have similar looking teams. They just have two different strategies. Obviously, Peoria High octane, very quick offense, and Notre Dame a little more simple, a little more standard offense. But at the end of the day, they're going to both make some big plays, and we should expect a really good game here tonight.
Now, you mentioned those two differing strategies so far tonight. Peoria Notre Dame's going to run that wing T, ground and pound, chew the clock type of offense. And on the other side, we might see some fireworks out of Peoria High. They want to go fast and quickly. Well, that's maybe one player from each side that'll stand out to you tonight.
Well, we start with the technical visiting team, the Irish. I look at Charlie Dawson. He may not always be one of their more featured players because there's a lot of great Irish players out here tonight. But Charlie Dawson, he's big on special teams. He's got a couple of kickoff returns for touchdown. Not to mention he's speedy. He can get out there if they hand him off the ball. Then you look over at Peoria High. Eddie Clark, I mean, he's obviously their star player. He's their feature player. Look at some of his stats through his first 7 games. 993 rushing yards. 21 touchdowns on 120 carries, not to mention 280 receiving yards. So he's got a loaded stat line. Both those players, excellent seniors. Look forward to seeing them tonight.
It should be a great one between the position battles tonight, but we were looking out at the field for warm-ups tonight. We noticed that number 6, Brady Osmolski for PND, was taking still the first-team reps, so it looks like he will be back under center for another week for Peoria Notre Dame, replacing, of course, Evan Elward, the senior quarterback, as well for PND. And for PHS and Peoria High, this is an offense that we're going to see the ball get spread out a ton. We're going to try and score quickly. Their defense may be an underrated facet of their game. Me and you were talking off the air about that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you look at Peoria High, their strategy in the Tim Thornton era has been, go, 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 fast, get the ball back in any means possible. Very unorthodox defense. You're not going to see that from really any other team, but it works in their favor. And this year they have a lot more playmakers on defense. Jacob Wright, Cedric Beckham, there's several that you could really name. So the defense is kind of an underrated facet, but it's really improving their offense as well, helping them get the ball back sooner and better field position.
Well, something's got to give tonight between PND and Peoria High. Of course, these two teams sharing the same field, and coincidentally this week, PND will be the away side. Peoria High will be the home side on your scoreboard tonight. Now, when we take a look once again at PND, we just mentioned Peoria High's defense, but for PND, they are a very disciplined defense. They don't let a lot of things beat them. If they're going to beat themselves, it doesn't happen very often with the penalties, and that was kind of our keys to the game today, is that they really have to keep the Peoria has to keep the laundry off the field to stay on the field, and for PND, they have to kind of keep everything in front of them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and look at PND, a couple of other, keys for me. They got to force turnovers. They had number of turnovers they forced against Manual last week. At the same time, on that defense, they have to do their best to contain Eddie Clark. It's tough to cover a offense that spread out. But if you can stop their best player, you might be able to kind of catch them off guard a bit. But then you flip back over to Peoria High. They got to minimize the Irish run game. That's what they're going to do more often than not. And then for their offense, they just got to strike early. They got to set the tone early, and then often they're going to get off to a good start and hopefully take this, maybe take this one home for a victory.
The Peoria Notre Dame Irish on the far sideline finally take their positioning. We are now just awaiting Peoria High Lions to take the field, as they will come out of the home side tunnel. Once again, these two teams sharing the field. We'll have to apologize. No working scoreboard here on site for Peoria High, so we will be manually keeping score. Our good pal Matt Harrington down on the sideline will be doing photography, of course, for Clutch Sports Media tonight. He will also be relaying any details from the sidelines up to us to try and keep us on track tonight, so we really appreciate Matt's job doing that tonight. We've got a great game on deck. Gavin. He's got a lot of people on. Evan, of course, in the room over to the right of us running cameras, with Joey Wright producing tonight and Jacob Steinberg down on the field, once again taking photography and video clips. We're still waiting for Peoria High to come out of the tunnel, but when they come out, very few teams get together like these two do, and said very contrasting styles. We see now PND getting back out on their wing tee. If you had to take a pick here, how does Peoria High try and minimize that offensive ground game?
Well, we know Peoria High's defense, they're very aggressive. They're not really going to take anything to chance. So they're just going to get up there. They're going to blitz quite a bit. They're just going to get up there and just assume run every time. if you're the Irish, you might want to try to work in some passing a little more. But at the same time, they really just got to focus on their run. Everybody's got to be locked in. And really, it's a basic of the game. It's tackling, you got to tackle hard. You got to fill those holes. Really just simple stuff, and it might really go a long way for the Lions tonight.
It indeed could be the case for Peoria High. As we just heard the rumbling underneath us here as we're now in a different spot for the third time. Clutch Sports Media's had a different broadcast POV from Peoria High Stadium. Last time, of course, when they played normal community, we were on the far side bleachers. And then last spring, we were underneath the home grandstands. Now this time, we're up in the crow's nest. We're getting a little bit of every little spot of the stadiums. It's become one of our favorite places to be here at Clutch Sports Media.
Well, I frequented this, site a number of times, and it's an old stadium. It's very historic, so you gotta love it for that reason. But this is probably my favorite view up here, definitely.
And as you take a look, just now taking the field are the Peoria High Lions and their star running back Eddie Clark. Peoria High and Peoria Notre Dame getting ready to tangle here on a Thursday night clash here at Peoria Stadium. It's quite the scene. We were talking about it. They've got a great drum line here. It's a great home atmosphere for Peoria High. And it's going to be a little weird, I'm sure, for PND to have to, once again, assume the visitor's sideline in this stadium.
It's a chilly one out here tonight. Got a little student section over there for the Irish Nation out there. So they'll be loud and supporting their team, and obviously a lot of great Peoria High fans under us as well.
Yeah, just about 55 degrees here before kickoff. We were talking amongst our Clutch Sports Media body today that it's probably going to be one of the colder kickoffs we've had to this point in the season. Definitely up there. Looks like both teams are getting to assemble their pre-game huddles. PND still running their first team offense against the second team defense for looks, and I get the feeling that this is going to be one of those grinded out type of games for better or worse, I guess, for either side. We saw PND on ESPN Radio. Larry Larson had the call for that. We opened up the season on one of the two legs with Clutch Sports Media. This isn't the first time we've seen PND or Peoria High to this point in the season. PND earlier in week 1 took on Metamora. And of course, we saw Peoria High take on Normal Community. And that game was an absolute barn burner, a heck of a game in the rain. But we've got some nicer conditions tonight. Looks like both teams getting ready to go. We haven't quite had the official coin toss yet, Gavin, but I guess some more of your pregame thoughts here.
Well, this is just going to be a great game. You look at it from every angle. There's not really going to be a lot of, there shouldn't be a lot of, mistakes. I think both these teams are very disciplined. Obviously, you're going to have some turnovers and things, but both these teams play pretty professional, I guess you could say. Coach Thornton, really coaches up his team. I've talked to him and Eddie Clark a little bit, so I really kind of know how they're approaching this one. But, yeah, it's just going to be a fight-it-out game. Peoria High got the better of the Irish in the spring, and a very grinded-out, similar played game. I would expect nothing different tonight.
A battle of two 6-2 football teams. That's Peoria and Peoria Notre Dame getting ready to go here from Peoria High Stadium. From Peoria Stadium. It's hard to draw the line in this one, I guess, Gavin.
Yeah, Peoria High plays here, Manual plays here. Now the Irish play here as well, so a lot of teams utilizing this facility. Easy to get that one mixed up.
The officials calling both sides to the field. We are just about ready to get underway here from Peoria Stadium. It'll be Peoria High School in their black and maroon uniforms. Black uniforms, maroon numbers with white trim to kick off tonight's contest. It'll be Peoria Notre Dame to return. They've got a nice-looking set of uniforms. They've got the matte black helmets with the Irish green-looking ND decal and the green numbers and black trim. As we are just underway, this will be a lot of what we see tonight. An onside kick here for Peoria. This one, however, will sail long. The opening kick is muffed and kneeled. This will be taking just at about the 15-yard line by Brady Osmulski. And we will see the Peoria Notre Dame offense come out onto the field first.
Well, I wonder if Coach Thornton's wanting to mix in a little bit of, trickery here. They're expecting that onside kick so much. I wonder if we'll see him boot it deep a few times this game, caught him off guard, and give him, not so favorable field position to start the game.
It'll be first down and 10, Peoria Notre Dame. From just inside the 16-yard line. Call it right at about the 15. Brady Osmulski, number 6, will be under center here for the Irish. Peoria High coming out to stack the box against the run. This will be a very run-heavy game. First play of the game is a handoff up the middle. Not much doing that time for the Irish.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of those runs. We're going to see a lot of draws, towards the inside there. But, Peoria High got better that time. They just got to focus on that run game, really just try to fill those gaps. And, again, strong tackling will be a big difference in this game.
And if you're Peoria High, you cannot fall asleep on those little handoff mesh points. It'll be all too easy for Peoria Notre Dame to fake one of those handoffs and keep it. As we have a stoppage in this game just momentarily, as they had to run a body off the field. Not exactly what for, maybe just an equipment malfunction there for Peoria High. But first body's run on, and we're ready for second down and about 8. Smolsky under center here in the wing T. Fakes initial handoff, hands it off on the end around. That'll pick up about 2 or 3. That was Charles Dawson, one of your players to watch.
Yeah, Dawson, he's going to come out there. He's going to be one of their more speedy backs, and I think he's going to, offer that bit of burst that might be hard for Peoria High to handle. We'll see if he can utilize that to his benefit tonight.
That's one of the advantages running that wing T offense. You've always got a downhill running threat and that fullback / heavy running back role. And on the other end, you've got a really big edge advantage when you get those wing backs in some space. And we'll see how they take advantage here. Once more, it is third down and call it 4 for the Irish as they fake a handoff. Osmolsky on the keep, rumbling through the middle. A penalty marker is on the field. Ball may have come loose. The yardage was good enough for a first down, but PND recovers.
Not a bad option play there. Again, when they run that formation, there are a lot of options they can do with, utilize that ball movement in any way possible. So look for some different looking plays here for the Irish.
Official still conferring on what the penalty will be. We have not had an official word yet. That quarterback follow play was good enough for a first, but it is going to be an illegal chop block against the Irish, so the yardage will be negated, and they'll move him back.
Well, penalties are something we haven't talked about. It's going to be big on both sides. Got to keep it a clean game. Penalties really can set you back real far and can really make the difference in scoring versus not scoring.
That was against Michael Flores, the offensive line. And Peoria High was all too happy to accept. So it'll be third down and back to 10 yards to go.
Say that again.
The penalty was illegal cut block on number 52 of the offense.
Osmolsky will try it again here on third down and 10. Man in motion is Dawson. They will hand this one up the middle, not much doing. Peoria High able to stand tall. It was not third down. The penalty was good enough to reset the down, and now we have fourth down.
Yeah, we know Peoria High is going to play a little more physical, but that aggressiveness, I wonder if they're focusing more on just solid tackling, getting in there. Really, that's just the biggest thought in my mind. If they can just hold them when they get contact on a body, that's going to make a huge difference.
So most likely a punt coming up here for Peoria Notre Dame on fourth down and call it about 7 yards. Eddie Clark, the dangerous return man and running back deep to return for the Lions. Snap is good. It's sent towards the near sideline here. Not a terrific punt, but it takes a great PND bounce, and it will finally lay to rest at the 49-yard line of Peoria Notre Dame, and that is where the Peoria High offense will take up their starting field position.
Well, this is the best case scenario for the Lions. They want that good field position. They obviously came up with a big stop. They, forced the 3-and out there on the Irish, and, they're coming up here with only half the field to go. This is looking like a good scenario for the Lions, who, remember, are usually a 4-down team, especially on this side of the field.
Very unorthodox is how we described it before we came on air, but number 3 in the backfield is going to be money tonight to watch. He is absolutely dynamite with the ball in his hands. Eddie Clark, the all-everything running back to this point in the season.
He averages about 8 yards per carry on the season, so something to watch here. He's going to get some big gains out of the gate.
Just hands off to Eddie Clark. Great open field tackling that time as helmets roll. This will set up second down and about 7 as Clark's first carry of the game goes for about 3.
Again, you've got to set the tone. You got to feel it out a little bit. These teams obviously are coming in with different strategies, so just see who can exploit the other first and come up with the first big play of the game.
He'll work out of the pistol once more. Gist Takes a snap, hands off right-hand side. Eddie Clark with some room. Clark to the sideline and finally corralled out of bounds. But it's good enough for another Peoria High first down. And like you said, just a little bit of room, and he can really put the feet to the ground.
Well, he's got a unique skill set. Not only is he physical, he can, get yards after contact, but he can get that burst of speed too, just like we saw him cut to the outside there. Big first down.
Both these teams like to run the ball. It's just by different ways. Peoria High, very much a spread-oriented team. Gets out of the pistol again, flares this one out to the right-hand side. It is caught, and upfield are the Lions. A gain of about 5. Couldn't quite catch the number on it, but a good-looking little screen to the right-hand side. Able to get upfield quickly. Well,
when they start getting those big plays coming out with Clark, they can really start opening up the playbook, catching the Irish off guard. When they do that, they're going to just start getting big play after big play and really wear down the Notre Dame defense.
That was Dietrich Pollard on the last catch for Peoria High. Once more out of the pistol, they will send Pollard in motion. It's a handoff up the middle to Clark, and tripped up just before the marker. Did the ball come loose? And the official signals first down Irish as the fumble by the all-everything running back coughed it up, going back to Peoria Notre Dame.
Well, there's some confusion there on the Peoria High sideline. It looks like they wanted him to be down. Now we've got the officials discussing here. Certainly looked like to me his knee came down before the ball came out, kind of a last-minute strip out of his hands. Nevertheless, first big play of the game. It really shifted the momentum, especially after Peoria High got off to a good start.
We've seen, and it will be Peoria Notre Dame first down in 10. First turnover of the night, just shy of their own 30. They didn't get very far on their first drive. A penalty was a main cause of that. But nevertheless, Brady Osmolski will come back out under center. They'll hand it off to the wingback. Knifing upfield. Here we go, and off to the races. Peoria Notre Dame with room to run. Mushninsky is finally wrapped up just inside the 15-yard line of Peoria High. A great play for PND.
Big play after big play here. 2 big plays in a row for the Irish. And again, that momentum has just shifted in a big way, getting themselves sides in the red zone now. Really, they're trying to get off to a big start here and take control of this game.
Joe Mushninsky with a great carry on the wing back around. It'll be first down in 10. They mark him at just about the 16, 17-yard line. Osmolski under center here in the wing tee. Again, hand in motion. They will hand this one off to Mushninsky. Wrapped up after just a couple of yards on the play. Call it about 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, you like where you're at with the Irish right now. You've got several downs to work with here in the red zone. But if you're the Lions, you got to go with the bend, don't break mentality here. If you can get them to maybe try to kick a field goal or maybe stop them on a 4th down conversion, you're really going to get that momentum kind of back after kind of, settling down here.
It's so important for those defensive ends to collapse the line of scrimmage to avoid those big plays, but coming out of the Army wing bone now. Handing this one off to the left-hand side, knifing up the middle, not much doing. Again, maybe just 2 or 3 on the play. Peoria High's done a great job of condensing down that run game outside of the run we just saw 2 plays ago.
Yeah, it looked like the first person there for the tackle got his legs a little bit, but it was a nice, nice job from whoever came in there from the secondary to kind of come in and finish off that tackle. Its big teammates are working together well.
3rd down and call it just above 3rd and 5, so we'll call it 3rd and 6 up here in the booth. Smolsky again with that little quarterback lead follow. He's following a couple lead blockers off to the right-hand side and just powering through.
Well, the big thing here for the Irish, they can kind of feel out how the defense is playing in the first couple of downs, and then they kind of break off for that big play, 2nd or 3rd down. So they're really utilizing the time wisely here. They're taking their time, and they're just running solid, well-crafted plays.
First down and goal for PND. Handoff to the outside. Dawson will be just brought down before the goal line, right about the 2-yard line.
Kept running there. I think he maybe picked up a couple extra yards, maybe a yard or so, but once you get in this goal line situation, you just got to keep pounding it in, keep those legs moving, and maybe you'll find yourself in the end zone.
All 180 pounds of Dawson was lunging for the goal line on that one, strung out just short. 2nd down and goal for Peoria Notre Dame. If you're dialing up the play call, where are you going here?
I'm just going to try to take one right up the middle here, see if it works, and then potentially on a 3rd down, if you don't get it, run the quarterback option.
Just about 4.5 minutes left, and they run it around on the wingback handoff. Touchdown, Irish. Joe Mashinsky puts PND on the board first.
Really nice looking play there. Again, I said run it up the middle, and they did sort of that, but they used a little more of that trickery. Use those options they have there. Running that formation, a lot of different ways you can go, and definitely caught Peoria High off guard a little bit there. Didn't really fill that hole.
And now PND will come out with the swinging gate for the PAT. If they like their odds, they can run the two-point try to one of the sidelines. If not, we'll see what we see right here. Shift back into the PAT.
Well, I'm surprised they're not going for two. Peoria High always goes for two pretty much, so thought they might want to get 2 extra points early, but they're opting for the easier option.
Instead, the Irish will indeed kick the point after, and the kick is up, and it is good. So Peoria Notre Dame draws first blood, 7-0 Irish, as they capitalize on the turnover and run all the way down the field. A 73-yard drive resulting in 6.
Well, this game is going to be really dominated by big plays. We saw that turnover that the Irish forced, then followed up by a long run there. They got themselves in a manageable spot, and they got in the end zone after some, it took them a few plays, but they got it there eventually, and that's the end goal.
Peoria High now looking to get on the scoreboard themselves. They'll have the ball next unless we have a turnover on this upcoming kickoff. But they're a team that last drive was kind of fluky. We never really see Eddie Clark put the ball on the ground like that. But he's a very aggressive runner, will always fight for those extra yards, and that can kind of happen when you get running backs like that trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, like you mentioned, they're not going to come out. They're really preaching ball security on that sideline. I'm pretty sure of it. They really don't want to have that happen again, so they might settle things down here a little bit, go a little more simple out of the gate, and see if maybe they can start to open things up again.
We'll see what happens here on the upcoming drive for the Lions. As PND gets ready for the ready for play whistle as the officials take their marks. As Eddie Clark is back deep to return for the Lions.
Notice he's not very deep back there. They might be expecting something short here. A lot of guys up front.
Everybody between the 50 and 40 for Peoria High with the exception of Clark, and they will now fan out. And so here we go, 7-0 Irish as the Lions try to regain the ball. It's a little rolling onside and smartly jumped on before it got to the 10-yard eligibility for Peoria Notre Dame to get it. Peoria High will now set up shop.
I figured they might pull something out there. Just awfully seemed like they might want to try to make another big play and get the ball back, really start setting the tone. But nice job, nice awareness there from the special teams for the Lions.
Absolutely was. And again, with that little rolling onside, the kicker is the first man usually eligible to get the ball. But that time, as you see, just shy of that that white yard marker. That's where they'd be eligible after 10 yards. As Peoria High sets up shop, it's a handoff up the middle to Clark, and now he's running with a little bit of dimensions. Clark is off to the races and finally covers up the ball. It's a first down and goal, Peoria High.
Big plays. We're going to talk about that all night long, and as see they get up here quick, they're just going to try to just bounce off that. Couple plays here and get in the end zone. They like to score quick.
Say running with dimensions there, left, right, up, down. I mean, coming at you in 3D if you're Peoria Notre Dame, as again, Clark will get the handoff, trying to slam his way up the middle. That time, the Irish able to close the door, and it'll be second down and goal.
Not a bad run there. Again, just kind of a simple handoff. Maybe catch them off guard a little bit, but a pretty strong tackle there from the Irish. Nice response.
Once more working out of the pistol. Handoff, left side, Clark knifing to the end zone. Touchdown, Lions, and we're a PAT away from a tie.
Well, I don't think you'll see the PAT on. I think you're going to see the 2-point conversion, but they like to do that. Like to get any points they can get possible, and the chance to get 2 instead of just 1 is big for the Peoria High Lions.
We will indeed see Peoria High stick it out for the 2-point try. We've seen 1 pass attempt from Peoria High to this point in the game. Same formation as Clark dots the pistol formation. Ball on the ground, broken play. Going to have to create, and Gist just has to eat it and fall to the turf. Whistles blow, and the play is blown dead. So a no good conversion that time for Peoria High.
Yeah, it doesn't work out, and it's not going to work out every single time. But if nothing else, you got the momentum swinging back in your favor. Eddie Clark looking more comfortable after that initial drive. And, again, got to keep the game close. You don't want to get too far out. Strike early and often, but again, keeping it close is bigger than, getting down by a big margin.
So our scoreline stands with just above a couple minutes left here in the first quarter. Peoria Notre Dame 7, Peoria High 6. And the old adage comes true here. It's always said so often when it comes to football and analytics, 50% of your two-point tries are just as good as 100% of your one-point PATs. So that's where you take your gamble.
Absolutely. I mean, again, the Lions, they're focused on that aggressive mentality. They want to pick up any points possible. 2 points, better than 1 for sure. Didn't get it that time, but again, they can do it next time. Works just as good.
And so now we will see if Peoria High comes back out in their standard routine, which is an onside kick. Last time, kicked it just a little long, all the way back to the 15, where Osmolski picked it up. And so here we go. Peoria High on the kickoff. So be an onside to this side of the field and finally jumped on. Good starting field position for the Irish. Jumping on that one was number 88, Marshall Gwilm. And so Peoria Notre Dame will have good starting field position here.
Yeah, something we need to focus on, too, are the offensive lines. I think doesn't get talked about enough, but the big holes there for Eddie Clark and then also for the Irish running game, you know, they're going to really need the offensive lines to step up here. I think both have done a great job so far kind of starting to create those holes, just about how those skill players can kind of break out and make their own play after they get that space to run.
So once more, P&D out in the wing tee. Brady Osmolski under center for the Irish. Handoff to the backhand side. Again, that wing back handoff has been lethal today for the Irish. And Joe Mashinsky, again, gets about an 8 to 7 yard carry.
Well, they're kind of getting that delayed handoff there. Instead of just going right up the gut where all the Peoria High defenders are just coming at one time, they're kind of waiting, giving themselves some time and trying to create that whole, you know, not necessarily initially, but giving themselves a little time to kind of survey the field. That seemed to be kind of the strategy so far for the Irish. Maybe the Lions need to adjust here a little bit.
It'll be second down and short in this wing tee type offense. So often or not, this is when coordinators will dial up that big pass play because they can afford to come back on third and short. We'll see what happens here. And the ball is loose. No, it's not. It's somehow hung on to that time by William Ludolph. I thought for sure the ball was on the ground when I saw Osmolski take the shot, but it'll be third down and about 3.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a strip sack, you know, before he was able to get that handoff around the guy coming around, but somehow got it off. I mean, it's tricking even us up here. Got to be tough for the defenders to see where that ball is going.
I guess you know you're pretty good at the fake handoffs. You're able to fool people 20 yards away up in the booth, so we'll see what Osmolski and company do here on third down. Just about 1 minute left here in the opening quarter. Osmolski hands it off. It's Dawson. Dawson fighting for yardage, and he's going to be swarmed up by a Pride of Lions. A big loss on the play. This will set up fourth down and about 6. And a great play that time by Peoria High to contain the edge.
I wonder if their defensive set here, obviously they're going with a very similar look up front there, but I wonder if they're telling them maybe kind of drop off a little bit there at first, kind of survey what they're doing. Again, and so those in-game adjustments can be really big for both sides. Looks like the Irish made some early ones. Now the Lions responding, and see the big tackle for loss on Dawson there.
We have not seen a pass attempt yet from the P&D offense, and it may be a while before we see one, but fourth down and 6 wouldn't be a bad time to try it as Brady Osmolski is under center. Fakes handoff. Again, it's that quarterback lead, and he's going to be about a good 3 yards short of the mark. There'll be a turnover on downs, and Peoria High will get the ball back.
It's a tough set, but again, momentum is swinging, but we've seen it. Both teams have had it in their grasp. It's going to be a back-and-forth game, and, you know, just like that, Peoria High is right in a good position to here come down and take the lead.
Just shy of midfield at their own 49. It'll be the pistol formation once more for the Lions. Gist will run it. Strong back to the right and 3 wide receivers for the Lions. With the hard count first. Gist calls the audible and hands this one off up the middle to Eddie Clark. Great job by P&D to stop it where it started. Only about a gain of 1.5 on the play.
Yeah, you know, they're coming up strong tackling by that defensive front, but it surprises me they have so many in the secondary kind of playing so much off. I guess they're really trying to avoid that big potential play on a pass, but so far it's been pretty much all running here for both teams.
Sticking with the same formation. Instead, it's a sweep handoff this side. Eddie Clark finally slung down by the back of his helmet, and there is the penalty for it. They're going to get him with the horse collar tackle.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it to me. I thought he had it, but we may not be getting a horse collar here.
regardless if they're going to call it an inadvertent face mask with a tackle by the helmet or the horse collar. And it will be the face mask penalty instead, but nevertheless, it's still 15 yards and a first down for Peoria High.
Yeah, getting those, you're not always looking to necessarily draw a penalty, but when you kind of get that tacked on, that's how it can be so demoralizing, for the team when you commit a penalty. Free yardage there, and it puts the Lions that much closer to scoring.
Once more, they'll stick with the same pistol formation. Strong back still to the right, and the ever-elusive Eddie Clark in the backfield. Fake the handoff, launching this one over the middle and incomplete. Trying to reach the outstretched arms of Ricky Hearn as we will come to the end of the first quarter with the score. Peoria Notre Dame 7, Peoria High 6. We are in a good one here on Clutch Sports Media.
Not a bad look there on the pass, looking, catch them off guard a little bit, and that's why I think they're keeping so many in the secondary, just to kind of avoid that big maybe pass play. They come out, once every so often. Sophomore quarterback, you're going to expect little things like that, but going forward, you get the ability to come and groom a guy like that, and then going forward, by his junior or senior year, that's a pass that he's probably going to make with pretty much ease. That's going to be a big play in the future for Peoria High on the passing attack. So far, though, the run game has been dominant, and I think we're going to continue to see that.
Yeah, it will be a telling of 2 quarters here in half number 1, and it's been a very seesaw affair. One of my favorite phrases, as Larry and Joey will both attest, Big Mo always gets dropped on the broadcast, and so far, Big Mo, a.k.a. Momentum, has not worn a PND or a Peoria High jersey. Both teams still battling for complete control in this game.
Well, both teams are looking, or I should say Peoria High is looking to just keep that going right now. They have everybody lined up there before the Irish even all take the field. They're wasting no time trying to get out there and just move the ball, get in the end zone.
It'll be second down and 10 for Peoria High as they hand this one off up the middle. Guess who? Eddie Clark continues to turn those legs, and he will be just good enough for a first down, a pickup of about 12, and he is really starting to find his rhythm.
Yeah, he's finding those holes, great awareness. I think awareness does not get talked about enough. He's finding those lanes, taking advantage of it, picking up a nice gain there.
Once more, gets out of the pistol. Again, Eddie Clark up the middle, carrying Irish defenders with him for a good gain of about 7 to 8 yards. And once more, the Lions are knocking on the door.
The play is so simple, but he can go in so many different directions and use his skill set. Really hard to stop.
Calling the audibles from the sideline, just relays it to his teammates. And again, handoff. This time he'll cut it back to the right. Clark, continuing to run, is tripped up inside the 5, but it'll be first down and goal for the Peoria High Lions.
First and goal at the 5 for Peoria. First and goal at the 5.
They'll stick with the same formation. They'll move the strong back over to the right-hand side, maybe use him as a lead blocker here. Handoff once more. Clark slamming forward, carrying bodies to the goal line. Is he in? Just short inside the 1. Yep, go ahead.
I believe we're going to get a holding call here, or maybe an illegal block of some sort, maybe a little extra contact there away from the play.
We will await the call. And we will have our second illegal cut block of the night, first on Peoria High. So you're right, Gavin. This one will come back.
Yeah, that one was on the defense,
Yeah,
actually.
so they're going to say defender went below the knees of the offensive player at that time. And so now we will have half the distance to the goal, but when it's all said and done, it's about 6 inches.
And now we're going to have another flag here, and this is going to be a sideline unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm pretty sure here. Looks like the Peoria Notre Dame coach came over barking.
Peoria Notre Dame coach is not happy with the call and wants an explanation from the
And a great call here from our, not sure if you can hear him over the walkie-talkie we got in here, but Matt Harrington doing a great job of relaying information from field level up into the booth. Again, the scoreboard not working. We don't have the great line of communication that we normally would to reference stats and penalties and all that, but a great job of relaying that information to us as PND is going to get flagged on the sideline.
And I understand where the Peoria Notre Dame coach is coming from. I mean, it looked like maybe there was more of a flag potentially on Peoria High, but that's not the way to go about it. You're hurting your team. You can't get into it that much. You just got to move on, play the game. We'll see if they can kind of clean up the penalties here. going forward.
And that's a big part of their offensive and defensive scheme. They like to get those low kind of blocks, not necessarily at the kneecaps, but right about the thighs and waist. And they will move it half the distance to the goal, so call it about 8 to 6 inches here. We will try it again on second down and goal.
They're fortunate this wasn't in the open field because they'd get some big yards off penalties, but gets the Lions that much closer.
First down and goal. Gist out of the pistol will take the snap. Ball again on the ground. Picked up by Clark. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Lions. What awareness by Eddie Clark to pick that up at the feet of his quarterback and just dive over the right-hand side of the line. And the Lions draw another touchdown on the ground.
Well, again, you're going to have those mistakes by the sophomore quarterback, but great job there by the senior. That shows leadership right there, great awareness, kind of picking it up there and helping the Lions add to their lead.
So once more, we will see the two-point try. They were unsuccessful their first time through. Gets out of the pistol, takes a snap, bootlegs out to the right, looking to the end zone, and just overthrown and incomplete. And again, two-point try doesn't work out in their favor, but they still hold the 12-7 lead.
Yeah, you know, again, it's big to start putting points on the board, probably something to clean up going forward, and I wonder if they might just try to run it in next time, go back to the basics to a degree. But, yeah, definitely a big play there from Eddie Clark to get into the end zone. If nothing else, they do have 6 points on the board. You know, you can live without the two-point conversion if you can keep getting 6.
Like we said, 50% of them, it's just as good as 100%, but so far, Peoria High has yet to convert on any of their two-point tries, but their offense has looked really good if you consider just Eddie Clark the offense.
Yeah, Eddie Clark, I mean, he is the feature player for the Lions. I mean, we're going to say his name all night long, and for good reason. Reigning PJ Star, football player of the year. Just really an incredible talent. He can do everything. You mentioned dimensions. He's all over the field. We've seen it so far early, but it's big now. We see if that Big Mo, as you said, see if that momentum can get back in the favor of the Irish.
Big Mo definitely leaning towards the home side in this split field showdown, I guess we could say. Both these teams sharing the same playing surface, but Peoria Notre Dame is the elected away side as this kickoff will make its way out of bounds, so an illegal procedure penalty against the Lions, and that'll give Peoria Notre Dame some good starting field position.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to maybe again catch him off guard, kicking it a little bit deeper there, but it's going to set up the Irish actually a little better than maybe they were where they would have been. Maybe very similar there, but either way, again, that shorter field there than we would normally see on a typical kickoff. But that's an aggressiveness that really plays into Peoria High's favor. You know, they can come out and just give it their all. And they've been coming up with some big stops so far.
We've seen Peoria Notre Dame start all the way back from their own 15, their own 23, even at their own 45. And so we will see how they finally try and string together an answer. It's 12 unanswered points put up by the Lions after Peoria Notre Dame scored first to take the 7-0 lead. We will now see the Irish try and answer. Brady Osmulski under center. Again, handoff to the weak side wingback. That's Dawson. And Dawson able to get upfield for a gain of about 6.
Yeah, he hesitated there, but he found that hole and then kind of used that speed a little bit. Obviously, he got a little bit of contact and was able to gain a couple more yards. That speed is a big factor for him compared to a little more of the strong back type for some of the other Irish running backs.
Yeah, it definitely fits the bill as that speedy and shifty wing back position. 6'1", 180-pound senior running back, and also does time at linebacker for his defense. Osmulski again will give it to Dawson. Dawson trying to find some room up the middle and not a lot doing. This will be third down and about 3 coming up.
Yeah, they're trying to chip away and then maybe kind of find that room for that big play, but the Lions have done a pretty good job so far keeping them away from that first down marker, at least giving them a chance to come up with that big third down stop. But once again, it looks like the Irish are in 4-down territory near midfield. So you have to think if they can at least get this one close to the marker, they still have a chance to pick up the first down.
We'll see how they dial up this third down play call. Tell us a lot about their plans on 4th. In the wing tee, heavy set. Osmulski under center will hand this one up the middle. No, it's kept to the near side towards us. This is Mashinsky and finally knocked out of bounds. That's the second time he's fooled me on this wing tee offense.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought that one was going up the middle, had my eyes looking up the middle, and as soon as you know it, he's coming out on the near side towards us. Really elusive play there. They're opening up the playbook a little more here, and it's definitely fooling just about everybody.
That's how you know we couldn't start for Peoria High, right? I mean, not that we're anywhere near the talent level of the players on the field, but we're getting fooled left, right, and center with this offense. But that's just a credit to how P&D designs all these motions and lead backs, and they really have a purpose for everything they do. There's not a lot of wasted moments in this offense. Another handoff again. Mashinsky wrapped up, maybe even a yard loss on the play. I'll call it about a half-yard loss. Mashinsky slammed to the natural grass surface.
Well, you got to think here, going back to that last play too, as much as Peoria High blitzes, some of those guys in the middle there, the middle linebackers, outside linebackers, that's good enough awareness from them to kind of know that they might break to the outside and avoid, letting them run it all the way into the end zone. And right there as well, knowing that there's a number of different places they can take that ball. Really good awareness despite that aggressiveness. Really well coached team. I'm sure that's a big coaching thing for them, working out on that last play.
It'll be second down and just north of 10. Osmulski will send a man in motion. That's Dawson. Fake the handoff, quarterback keep. Osmulski slamming ahead off the right tackle. Picks up about 6 to 7 yards and sets him up in third down and 4 range.
Solid gain, and I think he was just a couple steps short of maybe breaking out for a long touchdown there. Nice job wrapping him up, but found that hole. There's a number of different players that can take the ball on the handoff for the Irish. Whatever works, though. Got to get into those chunks of yards. Put yourself up with a manageable situation. You definitely want to keep going forward.
This is a very prototypical Peoria Notre Dame drive. A lot of guys touching the ball, a lot of motion, and they're really chewing up the clock, keeping the ball out of the high-powered Peoria High offense. Dropping back once more. Ashmolsky with room to run, and there's nothing but green grass in front of him. And the Irish love the green, and here we go again. Touchdown, PND.
Really nice job there. Again, kind of that hesitation, looking open there. Again, caught the Peoria High aggressiveness off guard and thought they might just try to bowl it forward, just get the first down. No, they had something bigger on their mind. They wanted the touchdown on that play. That's exactly what they got.
And a great-looking touchdown run that time for Brady Osmulski. His first of tonight's contest, and now we will shift into the swinging gate. But once again, they're going to go for the PAT.
Maybe a smart play here. They've already got the lead. Had a chance to at least just add one more here. Not a bad move.
13-12, the score line stands as the kick is up. And it is good. So 14-12 as the Irish answer the call and regain the lead. 14-12. Once again, working without a working scoreboard and clock for all better intensive purposes here at Peoria at Peoria Stadium. A couple of times I've done that tonight, but I promise we'll get it figured out, Gavin.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. We're all thrown off. The scoreboard's not working tonight. It's a chilly night, so we're just trying to get this broadcast done, but we're seeing a really good game so far. I think you got to really like the action that's happened so far, and, Peoria High is just a 2-point conversion down right now, so I think if you're the Lions, you don't hate where you are. You just got to kind of stiffen up on defense a little bit and obviously make sure that offense continues to do your thing and you don't fall too far behind.
And we've got to give a shout-out to the left-hand side of that offensive line. They opened up a massive hole. You could have driven an 18-wheeler through that hole. It was that well blocked and protected on the run play for PND. And that's one of the few times tonight we've seen Peoria High kind of give up a big run like that. We saw, of course, Mashinsky have a big run in the opening quarter. But now we're kind of seeing that offense redirect from sideline to sideline.
Well, I've seen a couple of plays where they look like they're just a couple steps short of maybe just breaking through. The defenders kind of come in. That one, he just found all the space right there. That's a big momentum swinging touchdown. It wasn't just a little 5-yard run. That's a big run, tear off a big chunk of yardage, and now you're trying to stiffen up on defenses. I presume we're somewhere in the middle of the second quarter, nearing halftime potentially, so definitely a big drive coming up here for both teams. See, they can kind of swing it back.
Now we will see the kickoff unit come back out onto the field for Peoria Notre Dame as Peoria High will now try to answer the answer, so to speak. After they gave up the game's first touchdown, they scored 12 unanswered and just surrendered the leader to PND. As this is a onside kick, definitely recoverable for the Irish, and do they get on it? Officials on the far sideline say that they do. It'll be PND ball.
Wow, that was a great play. Took an Irish bounce right there, too, and just got up off that 50-yard line. It looked like the players maybe wanted – we're having some confusion here, though.
I don't think it went the 10 yards. The official is marking it just short of the 50-yard line. Ball kicked off at the 40. And however, they're going to say that Peoria High had to have touched that. That's PND ball.
Well, it looked like it maybe bounced up off the 50. Then it kind of rolled back. I'm not sure if maybe they thought it was out of bounds. Great awareness, though, at least by the Irish. You're just coming up, just got to touch that ball either way. And if, it worked out in that situation, but definitely a bad turn of events here for Peoria High. Irish getting all the momentum coming here.
And a lot of things go into those kind of surprise onside, especially what sideline you're kicking it towards. And kicking it towards your sideline is a big factor. You get 20 to 30 bodies yelling, white ball, white ball, white ball. Not saying you influence the officials, but you definitely give them some preconceived notion. As Molsky under center again, hands this one up the middle, and there's just nothing doing as Peoria High continues to be strong up the gut.
Yeah, it looked like he may have even tripped over his own offensive lineman. You're going to get that. A lot of bodies up front there, but again, you're not going backwards. A lot of these plays have at least gone forward for a couple of yards, and if nothing else, you're getting yourself in a good position. I think that's really just the motive here.
Second down and call it about 6. Cody Roskin and Gavin Russell in the booth here with you in Peoria Stadium between the Irish and the Lions. Smolsky under center. Hands this one off. It's Charles Dawson, and Dawson again just following all those lead blockers off the right-hand side. He's able to pick up about 4.
Yeah, again, not a bad run there. A lot of bodies up front. You're not always going to find that big hole to run through like we've seen on that touchdown, the quarterback keeper. But again, moving forward is much better than moving backwards. That's pretty obvious. And you put yourself up in a short third down situation. Really good chance to move the sticks here on this next play.
Third down and exactly what you want to be in if you're a Peoria Notre Dame supporter. Out of the wing tee, Smolsky. End around handoff. Now redirecting up the middle. It'll be close depending on the spot. He looks to be right in line with that first down marker based on both officials. This should be a Peoria Notre Dame first down.
Not a bad tackle there, but in terms of where the sticks were, he kind of just fell forward, and that was enough for the first down. Nice job to keep the ball going forward, but they are got a timeout here now. Thought they might come out with a measure.
That's exactly the case, as they will take an official's timeout. So we have a timeout on the field for a measurement, as they will bring out the chain game.
I'm pretty sure microphone malfunction there. I'm pretty gotta love it, the little blunders, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they got this one here, but never a bad thing to check it out.
Oh, it looks like they'll be just short, so it's a good thing they did check.
From our perspective, maybe a little bit off there. Nice thing to check, though. Good stand by the Lions, and this is a big possession here if they can come up with a stop as the crowd is getting fired up. The sideline is getting everybody going, and that's what it's all about. Thursday night lights tonight, but everybody's fired up. Big plays, big action.
Trying to stall out the momentum from the onside kick of PND. Smolsky under center in the wing tee. Takes a snap. Hands it off again. The wing back end around and upended is Mashinsky, and he will have enough for that Irish first down.
Not a bad play just to get that yardage. Very minimal yardage there to get. Not a play to just do it, not try to get too fancy and get stopped behind the line. You got a new set of downs to work with, and exactly what the Irish want, just the ability to just kind of move the ball now.
This could be a big drive in the grand picture of this game. You saw the Irish receive the opening kick as this will be ended off to Mashinsky. And again, there's a penalty marker down. This one will probably be coming back. But again, that edge blocking is getting there time and time again for the Irish.
Well, that one, I don't know about you, but it had me fooled a little bit there. I was kind of watching the guy up the middle, and I think some of the Peoria High Lions were as well. But good enough awareness there, again, to kind of come out. And it looked, and like you said, I think we're going to be moving back here.
That's another penalty against Peoria Notre Dame. Mikel Flores, again, the senior offensive lineman, is the guilty party, and they will move them back all the way back to midfield. This will be first down and 20. Not quite to my first down and 23, which is so fondly been known as country mile territory, but
still pretty far. Not favorable spot if you're the Irish. Might have to try to break off a little more yardage here.
here we go, and they will finally hand it off. And Dawson on a never even happened. It's going to be 2nd and 5, and Osmolski with ice in his veins hung onto that ball just enough to fake out the defense.
Well, you got to look at that stiff arm there at the end of the run by Dawson. That was a strong man move right there, something I'd maybe see Derrick Henry do of the Tennessee Titans. Maybe help them pick up a couple extra yards there, but again, breaking off a big chunk of yards. They're in a spot they probably would, be like normal.
And that's that third stage of this offense. So many times they hammer it home, hammer it home, hammer it home up the middle. And then they'll run a quarterback keep off to either side. That time, that's the third stage of the offense with the wing back coming around. Essentially a third option on the play. And that time they get all the way to stage 3. We're in second down mode here as it's another handoff. Mashinsky again just short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
Well, it looked like they went a little more up the gut there, but just kind of observing the defense, it looks like they're playing a little softer, maybe 2 or 3 guys soft back, because if they do have somebody that breaks to the outside, they want to be able to recover, even if, it's a big gain for the Irish. But this, again, becomes a big 3rd down. And once again, I'd have to think it's 4-down territory, so 2 stops needed here for Peoria High.
We'll see if the Peoria High defense can answer the call here on 3rd down. Man in motion is Mashinsky. And the quarterback keep again, and Osmolski, who broke that play for a touchdown last time out, gets hit and hit hard. He will be just short of a first down.
There's a lot of different ways they can go, so you can never say for sure this is what's going to happen if you're the defense, but looks like they may have been expecting something similar to that. Wrapped them up pretty short, but again, it's a 4th down and short. So the Irish could very easily move the sticks here, see what they bring out here. They've got a lot of plays they can use with this formation.
Mashinsky was the back that got the first down last time for the Irish. We'll see if Gary Rutherford and company can stop them here, as again, it's Mashinsky on the sideline, just able to get upfield, dodging an official and a couple of personnel on the sidelines, including our very own Matt Harrington. And that's going to be good enough for an Irish first down.
Yeah, again, short yardage there. Got to just be able to move the ball up just enough. They can get just enough there. Fresh set of downs. You don't have to worry too much about turning the ball over there. And now maybe a little ease. They can just kind of go back into their normal set, try to get something here, maybe a big play, as they just kind of keep grinding down the field. It's a grinded out game, and that's exactly how they're approaching this one.
This will be another handoff to Charles Dawson, and Dawson off the right-hand side. Not a whole lot going on the lead play. Be 2nd down and about 8.
You got to imagine it's tough when you've got all those guys running. You don't want to tackle the guy without the ball. So I can kind of see there they're kind of waiting to see who's got the ball. Finally acknowledge Dawson had the ball and got the tackle.
We'll see what they dial up here on. We'll call it 2nd down and about 8. Osmolski will relay the play in. And again, Peoria Notre Dame, this is what they do best. Run the ball and chew up a lot of the clock. They're doing a great job of keeping this high-powered Peoria High offense on the sideline. And the more Eddie Clark stands over there, less damage he can do, obviously. As Dawson is motioned out of the backfield, dropping back. And again, it's a quarterback keep. Osmolski, again, nothing but green grass. Touchdown, Irish.
They love running that quarterback keeper right there. He's real fast, real shifty. And it's paid dividends. Maybe Peoria High revisits that, but if you're the Irish, you keep going to it until it gets stopped.
And I was watching the offensive line on that play, and there was 3 or 4 Irish linemen with nobody to block 10 yards down the field. They were all looking around for a body to block, but instead, a touchdown for the Irish as the swinging gate will once more shift into a point after attempt. So we await the snap. A great touchdown drive once more by Peoria Notre Dame. They now lead 20-12. And the PAT once more is up and good. So 21-12, Irish over the Lions. We will see Peoria High try and come out, bring this game closer together. Gavin, how does Peoria High, after sitting on the sideline for quite a while now, they've sat on the field for back-to-back offensive drives, Peoria Notre Dame, how do they get back in rhythm?
We got to imagine they're a little more fresh now. You know, they're not maybe getting hit as hard out there. So you just got to come out and utilize that to your benefit. You know, I'm sure the Irish have a few players that are playing both sides of the ball, so you got to just start to wear them down a little bit like the Irish are to the Lions. You don't necessarily need to get that big chunk play every single time, but if you can grind it out 4 or 5 yards like Eddie Clark has been, you might find yourself in a position to then take that big shot down to the end zone, whether it's a pass or a run, and at least get yourself back on the board. And, you know, the Lions will get the ball, you know, at the start of the second half. So as long as they can field this kick here, get everything rolling on the offense, they might be in a position to just slim this lead and, you know, come back better at the second half.
You got to think that even though Peoria Notre Dame had a great successful onside kick the last time, you don't want to go to the well too many times. So you got to imagine we'll see a little more routine kickoff here. But Peoria High is going to sit in between the 40 and 50. They will not be fooled this time. They're going to wait until they shift out into a regular kick formation.
Well, for sure. And, I mean, you kind of look at this near side here to us. You never know. They might try to pull off an extra trick play there.
Time check, please.
It's hard to say for sure. And they're going to just come out and run it right there. And nice recovery there. Again, great awareness. I mean, they're trying all the stops today, kind of pulling a Peoria High-esque play there. Whatever works, you know, got to find any means necessary to win. Didn't work out that time.
Indeed, it did not. But if I remember correctly, I remember just a couple of years ago, I shouldn't say a couple of years ago, it was back when Pat McAfee was still playing in the league. But he pulled off 3 consecutive in a season attempts of that exact variety of an onside kick. 2 of them were against the Houston Texans, so take that for what you will. Not exactly a historically great franchise, but there's definitely a blueprint for success on that play, and that's definitely something they coach up on their special teams unit. As Eddie Clark will get the handoff here to the left, bouncing off of Irish defender, spinning out of another, a back juke against another, and wouldn't you know it, a stiff arm to finish it off.
Well, absolutely, and he was tripped up there after about 3 yards. I think if he doesn't get tripped up, whether it was by the lineman or a defender, maybe he breaks out to the outside there. Either way, you're moving the sticks on the first play. It looks like they're going to try and waste no time to get this ball down the field.
Soon as those chains are set, they will take off as Gist waits out of the pistol now, audibling again from the sideline. Strong back to the right in 3 wide receivers. Dropping back to pass, Gist will air this one out down the right-hand side and just through the arms of an Irish defender. Looks like Mashinsky was there, and it's incomplete. So one of the few pass attempts we've seen tonight from Peoria High, just out of the outstretched arms of both the Irish player and number 15, of course, for Peoria High. That is Nashay Robertson.
Well, the Irish like forcing turnovers, especially in the secondary. Osmolski had 2 last week.
Handoff up the middle to Clark, and he is corralled after a pickup of about 4 to 5, and so that cuts the yardage they need in half here on 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, again, you took a shot there on 1st down, wanted to put yourself in a more favorable spot. It's 4 down territory always for the Lions, so big thing is getting a 1st down, but it looks like we're going to have a timeout here from the defense.
And this will indeed be the first charge timeout of the half to Peoria Notre Dame. Both teams came in with 3 up until that last play, and so we will have 3 remaining for Peoria High and 2 remaining for Peoria Notre Dame. And Gavin, if our listeners are just joining us, how would you kind of describe the action at this point? We've seen a lot of points, and we've seen, you know, some really great plays to this point.
Well, it's been very, very back and forth. I mean, if you go back and rewatch the start of this game, it looked like it was going to be Peoria High, then it goes to the Irish, then Peoria High kind of takes it back. But lately, it's been all Peoria Notre Dame. The crowd is fired up. You can see the student section over there doing a little bit of chants. But the Lions are looking to respond. So it's all about response, the momentum. That's the big story of today's game.
It is indeed the case. Give you a quick recap. It was 7-0 Irish after their second drive. Then Peoria High rattled off 12 unanswered. And Peoria Notre Dame has scored the next 14 as this handoff is to Clark. A jump to the left and just tripped up shy of the 1st down marker. It'll be 4th down and extremely short.
Yeah, I mean, you'd rather get that 1st down there. It looks like they're going to give him about a full yard short there. So they definitely want to go ahead and get this one. Leave it to no chance.
The Lions out of the pistol try to get him to jump, and they are successful in doing so. This will be an encroachment penalty against the defense. And so a great job by Gist that time out of the pistol, a good solid hard count, and even better job by his offensive lineman to not jump.
Well, we've seen that a few times. Maybe a little preparation there, just on some first, second down action, doing a little hard count. Use it in a good situation there and works to the Peoria High benefit.
Once more out of the pistol, it's a handoff to Eddie Clark to the right-hand side. He's still dragging a couple of Irish defenders with him for a gain of about 4. And there is a penalty on the play. So Evan Elward was the man that was carried that time by Clark on the carry. Drug him for a couple of yards, a little bit of a joyride, and he did not take exception to it. This will be against number 12 of the defense.
Well, if it is certainly against Evan Elward, that's a big detriment to your team. You cannot be giving up free yardage like that. And, it's surprising that the Irish have not gotten burned more with the amount of penalties they've had in this first half.
With the exception of a few plays here and there, it's been a pretty clean game. Haven't seen a ton of penalties. Definitely nothing that disrupts the flow of the game. We have seen the turnover, and they are going to decline.
It's an offsetting penalty, it looked like.
And so the unnecessary roughness call offsets. First down once again for PND. First down and 10 for Peoria High. And working out of the pistol once more is Gist. Gist out of the pistol, strung back to the left. I'll try and quarterback keep this time with Gist, and I couldn't tell if that was a broken play or not, if that was supposed to be handed off to Clark, maybe a little off rhythm. But either way, it was stonewalled and denied that time by PND.
Well, it looked like another microphone malfunction. I keep doing that. But
you're good, buddy.
It's an interesting night here, but it looked like at the end there, it looked like he may have just wanted to just tuck it. He didn't want to give up anything there. Looks like he comes off to the sideline taking a breather here. Try to get back into their rhythm on the third down.
That is indeed the case, as we will have another stoppage in play. Couldn't tell quite what the officials were signaling for there. So once more, the Peoria High Lions will try and work from behind the sticks. It's second down and about 12. Man in motion was Jalen Robinson, as this will be a keep. Hand out to Clark. And tripped up again. There's another penalty on the play. That time it was number 5, Dietrich Pollard on the carry. Said 3 names right there. Third time was the charm getting it right.
There you go. It takes a few times. You never want to get it wrong, but once you get it right, keeps working. But we get a hold here, and again, very detrimental. And we might be looking at country mile territory here, Cody.
So my criteria is third down in 23 or more, or any down in 23 or more. And Gavin, it's third down in a country mile. Second down in a country mile. So how does Peoria High respond? Gist is back into the game at quarterback. We presume they'll work out of the pistol again. This time they'll go with 4 wide receivers, and they will work with 1 running back in the backfield. Peoria Notre Dame will respond with a stacked box. Dropping back to pass, screen play set up to the near side. It's Clark trying to jump out of a few defenders, and Peoria Notre Dame rallies to the ball with force.
Solid tackling. He's not an easy one to bring down, especially if he can make a couple of men miss. That time, everybody was coming for Eddie Clark, and easily here a timeout for Tim Thornton's squad. With the clock running down, obviously can't see it, but Matt Harrington lets us know we're getting close to the end of the half, so good timeout here.
Yeah, and that leaves each side with 2 timeouts remaining for the rest of the first half. Once more, our score 21-12. Peoria Notre Dame over the Peoria High Lions. And this is everything we thought it would be in this game, Gavin. We've had 2 teams coming in at 6-2. Lot to prove in this game as far as, regionality, bragging rights, and all of that good stuff. But we've seen a lot of Eddie Clark tonight. We've seen a lot of Osmolski under center. He's really wowed us the way he's commanded this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. The Irish are in control of this game. Unless Peoria High can break off a big play here or get into the end zone, something like that. Looks like it'll be all Irish at halftime. But again, there's a lot of game left to go. It's not like it's a running clock or anything like that. And both teams will make plenty of adjustments at halftime and come out even stronger in the second half.
So out of the pistol once more are the Lions. They take the snap, dropping back to throw. They've got 2 post routes, and they'll go to the double move on the far side, and the pass is incomplete. To the far side of the field that time. Eli McFadden was the intended target. So it'll be 4th down and forever coming up for the Lions.
You might think this would potentially be a rare scenario that they could bring out a punt. Not that they will here. It looks like they're going to line up, but you never know. The quarterback could drop back to punt. You never really know, though. We'll have to see how this one shakes out.
Right now they're coming out in a standard offense formation. Trips to the right. Screenplay set up. It's a double pass. Going downfield. He's got a man open for the Lions, and it is incomplete. Great job getting back into the play by the Irish. A heck of a play call as Nasha Robertson unleashed a great-looking ball down the sideline.
Well, he might be getting some reps at quarterback to practice next week with a throw like that, but really a good idea there on that play, just did not quite work out. The secondary is very good for the Irish. We haven't seen it a whole lot today, but again, on plays like that, they've got guys down there. They've got 2, a safety and a cornerback, come up with a big stop there on 4th down.
And that is the last play of the half. The score between these two teams, Peoria Notre Dame 21, Peoria High 12. We'll be right back with some more great action here on Clutch Sports Media. when it comes to like teams like Peoria, they just go snap. Yeah. All right, and welcome back to Peoria Stadium, where the score stands 21-12 Irish over the Lions. I'm Cody Roskins. Alongside me in the booth is Gavin Russell. We've wrapped up a great first half of action, but Gavin, there's a lot more in this game left to be told. How do we see this second half really unfolding?
Well, the first half, very grinded out mentality from both teams. We saw big plays on both sides, but at the end of the day, the Irish got the better of that first half. But like you mentioned, there's a lot of time left to go, and we've seen Peoria High. They can get back in this game in a flash, and they're not too far off, so I'd expect a big response. But again, the Irish can really hold strong too, and again, it's just going to be a competitive match throughout the second half.
It's a tale of two ways these offenses run. Peoria Notre Dame, again, that slam, head-to-head, run-on-run blocking. Done a great job of getting Osmolsky in space. He's got 2 touchdowns in that first half out of the 3 for Peoria Notre Dame and for Peoria High. Eddie Clark with 2 touchdowns, but he's got maybe the biggest play of the game outside of an onside kick. He's got 1 very critical fumble.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's some controversy around that. Maybe his knee was down or not, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. You got to go through the official calls. They lived with it. Obviously it hurt him in the long run, but you just got to get better. You got to learn from those mistakes, and I think that's how, really high school football is. You got to learn from those mistakes. You got to be able to respond. Both teams, I think, have responded well from, maybe struggling a little bit. So far, I think it's been a really well-played match.
We saw a lot of really explosive plays on each side. The Osmolsky touchdown runs and Mashinsky again for P&D's offense. They've been in and out time and time again. It seems like every other time one of those two's getting the ball. And then for Peoria High, it's been Eddie Clark up and down the field, left, right, and center. He's done a great job of toting the rock tonight for the Lions. Again, he's got the 2 touchdowns, but it's going to go down in the stat book as an incomplete pass. But Peoria High was very close to pulling off that double pass at the end of the first half for a touchdown. And there's no telling how much more, momentum that could have given them into the locker room. It could have almost been unquantifiable.
Well, you'd think that's a play way down the end of the playbook, but I've watched Peoria High quite a bit, and that's something that I've seen them do a number of times with a number of different players over the years. It's something that they like to go to because it really does throw teams off. I mean, you're not going to do it more than once or twice in a game, but if it works, you're getting, you're really spreading out that defense for the Irish. I wonder if they maybe try to fake to the air a little bit more, do some maybe play action stuff, just to kind of spread out the Irish a little more and open up some holes for Eddie Clark to just kind of grind the way down the field.
Both teams have been very solid up the middle defensively. Peoria Notre Dame is, as far as, Eddie Clark's standards are, I mean, this is still a good game for him, the 2 touchdowns, obviously, but he really hasn't hurt them up the middle. It's that, 1 and 2nd cuts to the outside that have really killed the Irish in run contain tonight. They haven't really broken off the big one, so to speak, but it's been a lot of the 8-yard carries that have really done Peoria Notre Dame in.
Well, again, Eddie Clark, he averages about 8 yards per carry, so you're breaking off a big chunk just about every play, and you really feel like 8 yards, that adds up. After 3 or 4 plays, you're halfway down the field. So, and you look at the Irish, too. I mean, they've not maybe had so much success up the middle, but when they're breaking to the outside, they got the guy coming on the end around. That's really where they've had a lot of success, too. We've seen some big runs, some big gains, and they're obviously able to open up the defense a little more, get some of those holes.
Both teams don't usually play well from behind the sticks, and that wing T offense for Peoria Notre Dame, being behind the sticks is often being referred to as being off schedule. And when you're off schedule in that kind of offense, it's so hard to get back on track and get back into 3rd and manageable and 2nd down and manageable. And then the same goes for Peoria High. We saw them at one point, it must have been like, 4th down and 26? I mean, it was ball at the 50, 1st down just beyond the 25. I mean, it was just a forever ways to go. And when the wheels have fallen off the wagon, so to speak, for these 2 teams, they have really snowballed.
Yeah, I mean, they had a country mile play right there. Now, I do have to give credit, though, to the Irish. They've had a couple of those plays where they get far away, and then we see Charlie Dawson take it out for a big run, get themselves right back into it. And very similar with Peoria High, even if they don't get what they want on 1st or 2nd down, they've been able to move up pretty good. Some early game jitters, but at the end of the day, pretty solid, playing by both teams, and I would expect a little more sharp offense from both teams in the second half.
We'll see which side gives here first. We're both waiting for the teams to take the field. Peoria Notre Dame will take the field first. We'll give you, again, a quick recap. Peoria Notre Dame scored the first touchdown of the game, went up 7-0 off of Mashinsky long end-around play, which was then capped off for a touchdown by the Irish. Then Peoria High came out and scored the next 2 touchdowns. Did not get either of the 2-point tries. Both were Eddie Clark touchdown runs. One of those was picked up off a fumbled snap, which was still an incredible play by Clark. And then, in typical Peoria Notre Dame fashion, they ate up the entire remainder with about maybe a minute left of that second quarter. Put 2 touchdowns on the board and went up into the half with a 21-12 advantage. So we will see Peoria High try and get on the scoreboard for the first time since the first quarter, as the Irish are lined up to kick this one off. We have seen them pull off an onside kick already in this game, and it worked very well.
I think, at the halftime, the coach is probably saying, just get aware. You got to know what's going to happen. You got to be ready and expecting everything. They don't want to get beat on something as simple as an onside kick.
We'll see what happens here as PND and Peoria High are ready to go for half number 2. Irish lined up to kick this one away. Peoria High set to return. Back deep is Clark. And here we go, as this one is a low line drive. Not necessarily a great onside if that's what they were aiming for there. Kind of reminiscent of the onside kick. There was a high arc to it, and you can run underneath it. But regardless, first down at the 50 for the Lions.
Nice job with the hands team there, just getting it, nice solid catch and getting his knee down. You don't want to leave anything to chance, maybe muffing that ball or something. Allow the Irish to get that ball back. It's nice you can just get out here, 50 yards, see if you can get a solid drive in the end zone.
And we will see the Lions come out in the pistol formation. It's been pretty much the exception with the last couple of plays before the half. All pistol. Handoff up the middle to Clark. And he is lassoed down after a gain of about 3. He's just been running strong tonight for whether it's 3 yards or 12 yards. His effort has remained at the same level.
Even on the smaller runs where he's not picking up quite as much yardage, there's enough of a hole there to at least extend yourself forward. He's not getting negative yardage on really any plays.
Hard count. Doesn't get anybody to jump. We did see PND jump once on a 4th down attempt. That did give the ball back. This is a pass attempt out to the left-hand side. It's caught and hauled in for a first down. Penalty marker is down. That was Eli McFadden on the reception for the Lions. We will get the official call on the penalty. I personally didn't quite see what was happening, Gavin. I'm not sure if you quite caught it. It was a really late penalty.
It looked like it came from the back. I'm wondering if maybe we have an unsportsmanlike conduct or something, maybe a late hit. Really oddly thrown flag there,
and that's another illegal cut block. That's now all 3 of those being on PND. One was offensively. The second 2 have both come on the defensive side, and a lot of times you see that when defensive linemen or linebackers are trying to engage offensive linemen or tight ends to take out blocks.
Well, it looks like that's just the style of game they're playing here, and, again, you got to be wondering if you're the Irish, maybe you're not even looking at that. You never even see it, so it's hard to really say for sure, but, the refs have eyes all over the field, and they're obviously looking for everything, and since that's not the first instance of that call, I'd imagine there's some cleaning up that the Irish need to do to avoid getting another penalty like that.
So that will move the chains. It's first down and 10 for Peoria High. They are on the move. This drive started at the 50-yard line. They now sit just at the 26-yard line, so already cutting about what they needed in half to get to the end zone. So we get the ready for play whistle. First down and 10 for the Lions. Gist out of the pistol. Takes a snap. Another fumbled snap. Gist will keep it. Trying to cut up field. The Irish sound tackling. Ball came loose at the end of the play. Looks like the officials called it dead. It'll be about a yard loss when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that was not a great play there. We've seen some errant snaps from the center. I'm not exactly sure who is under center at the moment, but we've seen some low snaps tonight. And obviously that's tough for a quarterback to handle, especially a sophomore quarterback. See if maybe the offensive line can pick it up a little bit.
It's B.J. Kruger is the center for the Lions. Out of the pistol handoff up the middle. Clark just again following the road graders up front, paving a way for a couple of yards. It sets up 3rd down and call it about 7.
That's incredible athleticism from Clark to do a little jump over the lineman, then pick up some yards.
Sticking with the same pistol formation, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the far side. And the ever-elusive Eddie Clark in the backfield with Gist running the show. Dropping back, slant route over the right-hand side is caught, hauled in, one jump cut, and again it's a touchdown for the Lions. Hauling that one in was Ricky Hearn. Great catch over the middle. Nice acceleration to shake a tackle and score.
That's what I said. Coming out of the halftime break, I wondered if they would go to the air a little bit more to kind of spread out that Irish defense. They're probably expecting run a lot because that's what we've seen most of. Good passing here on this 50-yard drive from the Lions, and it ends in 6.
They're 0 for 2 to this point on 2-point tries. This will be a handoff up the middle, and it looks like he will be caught short. So 0 for 3 on the night, but still a productive drive for the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to clean up those 2-point conversions. I'm sure that will be something they'll work on in practice next week. But at the same time, you got to give a lot of credit to the Irish defense. They've been able to come up with some big stops, not just on those 2-point conversions, but throughout the game, and that's no different right there. But, again, getting 6 is important, especially to start swinging that momentum, and you're only down 3 at this point. You come up with a big stop, maybe force a turnover, and, again, you can get the lead right back.
We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in this one already. I'm Cody Roskins. Once more, Gavin Russell with me in the booth. The color commentary. It's 21-18 Irish. They stand to receive the following kickoff after the Peoria High touchdown. It was a great drive for Peoria High, set up by the great field position off the kickoff. Started at the 50. Of course, Ricky Hearn hauling that one in, the junior wide receiver, 6'1" target. Able to do a little bit of catch and run. So it'll be Hearn lining up for the kickoff. And instead, they will kick this one to the opposite side and immediately taken for a knee just shy of the 50. Peoria Notre Dame will set up at their own 48-yard line. 49-yard line is where it will officially be marked. And so we've got great starting field position here for Peoria Notre Dame, but that's something we've seen quite a bit tonight.
No, that's really not an option for Peoria High, and it looks like the Irish may have just taken that out of the Peoria High playbook. 4-down territory, they know they got to score on offense. If they want to win this game, got to keep that moving. Can't rely totally on that defense. So far, they've done a pretty good job at that.
Smolsky under center. He had 2 touchdown carries in that first half. They'll hand this one off up the middle, trying to shake some tacklers. William Ludolph got about 5 on the play, the senior running back. He plays that up-back position, kind of like that fullback hybrid role where it's a lot of inside handoffs for him, but he's also going to have to work as a lead blocker.
Well, we've seen, they've kind of gone away from him. They were going with him early in the game. I wonder if they're going to see if they can just try to get him some early handoffs in the second half, kind of grind away at that Peoria High defense and maybe pick up a few yards.
Stands to be 2nd down and 5 for the Irish. Smolsky hands this one again. Off to the right-hand side is Dawson, and he is tiptoeing out of bounds for a gain of about 2 to 3. And again, it's 3rd down and short for the Irish. This is exactly the situations they want to be in.
Yeah, they keep moving the ball forward. You're not seeing a lot of negative plays. And, when you've got so many guys moving, it's hard for the defense to pounce to stop them behind the line. So they're moving the ball forward. It's just a matter of, can the Irish continue to execute? More or less, the Irish just need to do their thing, and they should be in a good position to get the first down.
On 3rd down and 3, Smolsky under center. Hard counts. Hands this one off backside to Dawson into a sea of humanity, and he is going to be spotted, looks like just short, according to the far side official. We will wait for the official mark, but looks like Peoria High may have gotten into the 4th down situation they wanted.
We've seen this a couple of times. If it is indeed spotted short, it is going to be spotted short. They've had this before, and they weren't able to get the stop. I wonder if Peoria High maybe draws up a little something different here on defense, maybe get some linebackers to kind of cut in and fill some of those gaps. I'd assume they'd try to go up the middle here.
Smolsky under center, takes the snap, and there is a penalty marker. This should be a false start against the Irish, which will set them back 5 yards, immediately blowing the play dead.
Just like I said, they got to execute their own play. They should be in a good spot to just push that ball forward. Obviously, Peoria High might be able to make a stand. That's about the worst thing you can do right there, is push yourself back now where it's a 4th and 6. That's not a good spot there, and, this is a much better situation for the Lions. Maybe we'll see maybe a crafty little punt or something here, not for certain, but you never really know what can happen to either of these teams.
We saw Peoria Notre Dame convert a number of 4th down and 5 or plus attempts in that first half, so it's definitely not uncharted waters for the Irish. It's usually been Mashinsky coming around the right side towards us here up in the booth with a lead blocker. Smolsky Anderson will send Dawson out. Fake the handoff. It's that quarterback lead play, and this time the Lions have a read on it, and it's a turnover on downs after a great tackle for loss.
I'm not going to say they came out and were only expecting that play, but I wonder if that was kind of the primary. If they said, make sure and look for that quarterback keeper, they did indeed, and they got that big stop right there.
The Lions defense was hungry on that play, and they definitely got Smolsky in time. Old Pride Lions chasing down the ball. Carrying will be 1st down and 10 for the Lions offense. They're looking to go down and take the lead, something they haven't done since early in the first quarter. Guest is the quarterback. Two wide receivers nearest towards us here in the booth. Out of the pistol. Gist takes the snap, hands off to Eddie Clark. Jukes to the right and just nowhere to go as he finally cuts this one up the field. Tiptoeing the sideline and finally out. There are multiple flags on the field. Maybe an illegal block and maybe a holding call, so these could both be against Peoria High. I don't know about you, Gavin, but that looked like that play was going nowhere. And all of a sudden, Eddie Clark's running down the sideline.
Well, looks like we might have maybe a holding call or hear something of that effect. We'll get the call here. Block in the back there. And a hold.
And so that first penalty isn't worth as much as the hold, so they're going to go ahead and accept the penalty worth more, holding, marching them back, and so we will replay the down with another 10 yards tacked on.
But to go back to that play, I mean, even though there were a couple of penalties there, still real impressive to be able to break to that outside. Insane speed there from Eddie Clark, and again, except for those penalties, great play, something out of nothing, but again, they march backwards and definitely want to try to bite off a chunk here heading into 2nd down.
This is my first time seeing Eddie Clark in person since the spring season last year. My goodness, is he ever elusive. This is a bubble screen out towards us here in the booth. Wrapped down after about a gain of 8. That was Dietrich Pollard again. He's been one of the more popular targets in the air tonight for Peoria High, even though they haven't thrown it all that much.
Yeah, no, he's a really reliable target. He has been all season, and I think, again, they're trying to go to the air a little bit more.
Low snap, handoff up the middle. Again, the give is to Clark, but nowhere to go. Sniffed out immediately by the Irish, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 13. Again, go ahead,
Sorry. I wonder if we'll see maybe a fake handoff here, a play action, try to pull off a little something.
We saw him run play action in the first half. Instead, just a standard drop back and throw going long, and the ball is just outside. First intended target, Ricky Hearn.
So some of those plays where you got the guy going a little bit deeper, just kind of on a streak route, maybe trying to just draw a pass interference on the defense, not intentionally there, but if you go up and you get interfered with, you get a chunk of yards back. Didn't work out there. It's 4th down.
Talk about all the time in the passing game, layup attempts. That's one of those. Driving back to pass, throws the fake screen. No, instead it's over the middle and nearly intercepted on the back end by Dawson. And if it wasn't intercepted, there may have been a big hit there had that ball been hauled in.
Yeah, it looked like it was thrown just a little bit past him there. And again, you're going to get that with the sophomore quarterback. He looked like he came out sharp here in the 2nd half. Just kind of a stalled drive after the early penalties. And both teams, they just got to execute for themselves. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot. And that's kind of how it's been to start this 2nd half, is they've just not been able to execute themselves for the most part and not really able to move the football the way they would usually.
So 1st down and 10 for Peoria Notre Dame. See Osmolsky come out, bring out the wing T offense. They stalled out last time. 21-18 Irish as Osmolsky backside handoff again. Mashinsky wrapped up after about a gain of 5, and that is the standard play for PND. They want to get 5 yards, get set for 2nd down and medium.
Yeah, we saw the Lions kind of back them up a little bit on that last drive, shutting down the quarterback keeper, but again, they want those big guys. They want those guys meant to carry the ball more, to just grind out that yardage. It's a very grinded out style in that wing T offense. And again, you put yourselves in a good spot here coming up on a very manageable second down.
Indeed they do, with 2nd down and 9. And it's got to be noteworthy. These linebackers for Peoria High haven't done a terrible job of containing the run. They've just been caught off guard a few times. This one is to Dawson with 2 lead blockers. Dawson trying to fight his way out of a hole on the right-hand side. Finally wrapped up another gain of 5. And that should be good enough for a 1st down for the Irish.
You say maybe a couple of missed tackles there for the Lions, but at the same time, that was just a tough run there by Charlie Dawson. I don't think you really have to, like you said, you can't really discredit the defense, the linebackers. It's just been really good designed runs and great execution that's really helped the Irish move the ball.
Yeah, and you'll see kind of towards the bottom of that defense for Peoria High, number 9. That'd be Rutherford, one of the 2 on that defense. This, of course, being Gary Rutherford, the sophomore linebacker. He's done a great job of just trying to keep that edge play contained for Peoria High. And so far, they haven't come at him a ton on this drive, but he's done a great job in the first half. This is another handoff. Dawson. Peoria High says no to that. Strung out for about a yard.
Still, it's going forward, though. I mean, you gotta make that a note. The ball is moving forward. They're obviously not giving them a chance to intercept the ball because they're a very run-heavy offense. I don't believe they've passed once all day. Ball security is big, and we saw that with Peoria High. Irish are doing a pretty good job of that, and again, they're keeping the ball going forward.
It used to be said when the forward pass was first brought into the game of football, a lot of things can happen when you throw the ball. It's about 4 things, and 3 of them are bad. So why would you ever throw it? Well, that seems to be the philosophy for Peoria Notre Dame. On 2nd down, dropping back again, the quarterback followed. Able to juke out of 1, but immediately swallowed up by the Lions. Gain of about another 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and about 7.
Taywan Smith was just so close to bringing that one down in behind the line. Fortunately for Osmolsky, he's able to pick up a couple, but they were reading, again, that quarterback keeper. Definitely an adjustment the Lions defense has made here.
And if I caught that right, it looks like Elward has come into the game at quarterback. So Evan Elward enters the game, number 12 for the Irish. Backside handoff once more to the wingback, Mashinsky. And it'll be short of the 1st down by a good amount. It'll be about 4th down and 5. And so does Elward stay in the game here and try to orchestrate a 4th down?
Looks like they might just be pulling off, just try to get in the minds of Peoria High a little bit. Maybe think, are they going to try to pull something off here? Obviously, they go back to the run. But you got to keep it in the back of your mind and maybe try to catch them a bit off guard one way or another.
1 of 2 senior quarterbacks on the roster. Of course, Brady Osmolsky, who started the game, is one of them. But the typical starter, Evan Elward, back in the game here. A quarterback follow play. And again, the Lions eat it up in the backfield. They have got a read on that one now. It'll be a turnover on downs going back to the Lions.
The exact idea there was to get him in there for a couple of plays and then hope he could get in enough space to maybe grind out for that 1st down. He's obviously a bigger quarterback. Osmolsky's a little bit smaller, so the hope was pick up a few yards, maybe grind away for the 1st down, but the Lions were all over that one, and they come up with a big stop.
So 1st down and 10 for the Lions. Once more hunting for the lead. 21-18 Irish. As Gist out of the pistol, returns to being quarterback. Handoff up the middle is to Eddie Clark. Shifty runner, able to jump cut out of 1 tackle, fall forward for another yard, and that's good enough for another Lions 1st down.
Really nice run there, and I think, even though they have a longer way to go here, they're able to spread out the game a little bit more. They go quick here.
One of their trademarks on offense, and it looks like P&D may have to burn a timeout to avoid the penalty. And that looks to be the case as coaches will come out onto the field. Timeout to the Irish. And a smart timeout taken there. If you can avoid the penalty, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, that was an even quicker setup than we're even normally used to seeing from Peoria High. Not a bad breather there for the Irish. And again, you avoid the possibility of a flag or maybe getting beat on a big play where your team was not set defensively.
Indeed, it is the case. So just a quick breather here, not necessarily a tactical timeout in the sense of getting bodies on the field. It's more about getting the bodies off the field. It looked like there was a couple. Alex Osmolsky looked like 20 was trying to run off the field that time. Another senior for this PND roster. And that's got a lot of talented seniors at a lot of different spots. We mentioned the quarterback position already, but on the defensive side especially, they're very back heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you see the way they're in their formations on defense. They've got safeties back there. Everybody's on a cornerback. They've got a couple of guys up the middle. They don't play so much on the line. But so far, they've been able to defend most of the stuff pretty well. But Peoria High is starting to figure out how to beat them.
Gets out of the pistol, hand off to Eddie Clark, just following his lead blockers. And again, Clark just continues to spin, washing away some missed tackles, and another good pickup, about 9 to 8 yards that time, second down and short.
Talked about the offensive line, but a lot of that run was from Eddie Clark. Really tough run.
Once more, handoff up the middle. Clark with a bit of steam. Clark with a spin cycle, and Clark is off to the races. Can they catch him? The answer is no. Touchdown, Lions. No flags on the field. This play will stand.
47-yard touchdown, if I'm not mistaken there. He had all sorts of space to work with, and that is a dangerous game for the Irish when he's out in space. Sweet spin move right there, and he takes it all the way to the house. Just shows you how good Eddie Clark is.
They'll come out for the two-point try again. They're 0 for 3, but that last touchdown gives them the lead. Another great performance by Eddie Clark. Now 3 touchdowns in this one. And we don't have the number on us, but he's got to having a great day yardage-wise.
Absolutely. He's definitely eclipsed that 1,000-yard marker for the season now.
Pass to the end zone, nearly intercepted on the two-point try, so again, no good. But Peoria High takes the lead, 24-21. Go ahead, Gavin.
Sorry. You look at it, some people might say, why not just kick the field goal? Just take your extra point. It's not working. You're 0 for 3. Well, Peoria High is not really a big kicking team. I don't think they really have too many guys working in practice on kicking field goals. They're trying to get the points more often than not. Some days it's just not going to be totally working. But at the same time, you just got to know how Peoria High plays. But they got the lead now, and that's really what counts to them.
And that's exactly right, Gavin. You hit the nail right on the head there. It's like tonight, yeah, maybe you're 0 for 4 to this point. But what about the night you're 4 for 4? That's an extra possession on the field that you didn't have to go out and get a touchdown for, and you already got the 8 points. And so that's where that, risk-reward factor comes in. And tonight, yeah, maybe hasn't worked out, but Peoria Notre Dame hasn't exactly wowed you in the second half, have they?
No, they have not. I mean, they just looked a little bit stale. Looks like some of the plays they were going to in the first half have kind of just been bottled up by the defense. They need to maybe open up the playbook a bit more and kind of make some of those adjustments like they were in the first half.
Here's the onside. It'll be a bouncer. This is a free ball. It's touched and recovered by the Irish. Wow, was that ever close? It was a fair ball after it went to 10 yards. It looked like it might have been touched, but do we have an offsides penalty on either side? That is the question.
Well, I'm thinking maybe there could have been a block in the back there. I'm not 100% sure, but he maybe got shoved when he was coming up on that ball. Maybe just a wrong observation from me, but looks like
now a lot of
I'm just not sure exactly what happened there. There could be a number of things, and there's absolutely a discussion here. Peoria High might have the ball or a re-kick. I'm not 100% sure.
So a lot of times, I know what you're talking here, is we get the call. This will be against Peoria High, and so will be P&D ball, and they'll march off the yardage where it was covered. But a lot of times, if that's what they're going to call, a lot of times the officials, those first 2 guys on the onside team, those are gunners. They are taking out the nearest body so that ball can go 10 yards and they can scoop it. A lot of times they let that kind of go because that's an unwritten rule of the game, so to speak. That kickoff and kick return team is no man's land. It's where all the crazies play, so to speak. Either it's a hit or get hit world on that side of the ball.
Yeah, very, very close to getting that ball to Peoria High.
Elwood will take the snap and hand this one off to Osmolski. And Osmolski in at wingback. Elwood once more will stay in at quarterback. So the 2 seniors in the game on offense for their respective side. It's a gain of about 5, and now we'll see Elwood come off. No, he will just instead go to the sideline to get the play.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that they're bringing Elwood in here. It looked like Osmolski under center was not doing too bad. I mean, he was obviously pretty elusive on those quarterback keepers. I wonder if they're just trying to throw Peoria High off a little bit here, and maybe at some point they take a rare pass shot to the end zone.
Under center once again, Elward with the counter handoff, and there's some lead blocking here for the Irish. First down carry is good for Mashinsky. Should be good enough for a first down, and it is, signaled by the back judge.
Excellent job lowering that shoulder. You know, I think maybe if there were a couple more defenders there, he would have been brought down, but he saw that one-on-one matchup, didn't try to do anything fancy, just lowered the shoulder. Bigger than the defender that was trying to tackle him, and he was able to pick up that first down yardage.
First down and 10 once more for the Irish as fresh bodies rotate onto the field for Peoria Notre Dame. That's Savion Brent, the nose guard, coming into the game for the Lions. Inside handoff, Osmolski. Knifes ahead once more, gain of about 6. And that offensive line is really starting to find a rhythm in the middle.
Well, it looks like Peoria High might have got away with one there. It looked like somebody on the defensive line may have committed a neutral zone infraction from my vantage point here. Either way, though, it works out for the Irish, and you're probably going to take that over a neutral zone infraction with a nice run.
So the battle of Peoria continues here. It's second down and less than 5. We'll call it 4. Elworld under center. Fakes the handoff, going back outside. Osmolski, another big run for the quarterback playing wingback. Touchdown Irish.
Incredible. Osmolski has really been the star of the game for the Irish. And, again, it makes me wonder why he's not under center, but that's a play like that.
And excuse me, while I interrupt you here, Gavin, it looks like Osmolski is down in the end zone, so never anything you want to see. Looked like he had cleared the pylon without any contact, so maybe just a little bit of cramping going on. It is rather cold out here, so the muscles could be getting tense, but going back to what you said, Gavin, Osmolski, what can't this guy do?
Well, he's been incredibly fast, and I think a lot of the running backs for the Irish are a lot more stronger base. You know, they're just trying to grind out those yards. Osmolski and along with Charlie Dawson are those guys that utilize their speed very heavily. He's been able to use that really well, and when you get that open space, like we saw with Eddie Clark also for Peoria High, you have that speed and you have that space, you can do a lot with the ball. And again, once again, another touchdown for Osmolski. He could go down as the player of the game for either side, but certainly for Peoria Notre Dame.
Another touchdown for Osmolski. He has done a great job in this game, being helped to his sideline by his training staff. So we will see Elworld and company stick on the sideline. Swinging gate comes out once more, but what a great drive by the Irish after another phenomenal drive by Peoria High, Gavin. Who says you can't score out of the wing tee?
Well, apparently not the Irish. The Irish know what they're doing, and no good on that two-point conversion. I was kind of surprised. I was watching that one. Peoria High was just expecting them to just move back over for the PAT. They had a clear guy over there and just a low pass, so it kind of worked out for the Lions. But, yeah, excellent job. Lots of different things happening for the Irish on offense, and you really got to like where you're sitting with Osmolski. You just hope he can come back into the game.
27-24 after the swinging gate. 2-point try is no good, so back to a 3-point edge for the Technical Road visitors here, even though, once again, these two teams share Peoria Stadium, along with Manual, of course, but can't have a three-way game tonight, so we'll see Peoria and PND try and claim rights of the field, so to speak, as both teams 6-2, strong seasons. A good 7th win would go a long way in that playoff, kind of formula.
And this is the game as close as we thought it was going to be. This is a big game, not just for bragging rights, and you're playing an in-city rival, but you're taking a lot of momentum into the state playoffs. Again, both of these teams state playoff bound, and going into the state playoffs 6-3 versus 7-2 can make a huge difference. Again, they're both in, but it's that momentum factor. And, again, you want to get that win on senior night for the Lions. You want to be the spoiler if you're the Irish.
Once more, like you said, momentum. Big Mo, our good friend, swings back over to Peoria Notre Dame. And now can Peoria High come out and regain the lead? They'll have to do it again, same as they did last time out. As here comes the kickoff. A standard kickoff this time. It'll be sent. Take a good bounce for the Irish. Taken up at the 10. Now here comes Clark. Clark with a juke coming towards the near sideline. Puts his shoulder down and is ran out of bounds. Right at about the 31-yard line. Call it right at the 30. Gavin, if you're Peoria High, I know you're probably going to say Eddie Clark, but how does this drive start and how do you kind of get back in rhythm?
Well, you're absolutely right. Eddie Clark is the guy you got to go to, but they took some shots early in the second half in the air. They absolutely had a passing touchdown as well. So I think maybe if you just try to incorporate it a little more, if Eddie Clark's a little more bottled up on this drive, you definitely got to start spreading out the Irish. Certainly a big drive, though, a close game, and this is a big way for the Lions to take some momentum into the fourth quarter shortly.
Clark hit him with a wicked spin move last time out. This will be another handoff up the middle. Tries to pinball off of one Irish defender, instead wrapped up after just about a gain of 2.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a face mask tackle there, maybe inadvertent, but either way, brings him down for short yardage.
Gist out of the pistol, again sticking with that same 3 wide receiver set. Send a man in motion. Handoff towards us here in the booth on the sideline and sprung in it free. Here go the Lions again. Another 50-yard plus touchdown for Peoria High. Daytrick Pollard off to the races, and see you later.
Well, we're talking about Eddie Clark so much. Daytrick Pollard has also been huge in this game. Excellent play call, and you can see how crafty Tim Thornton's squad is on the play calling. Certainly caught the Irish sleeping a little bit there, and just an excellent run.
We have got some fireworks here tonight, Gavin, and we didn't think we'd really see it from PND, but Peoria High has definitely provided the scoring tonight, as once again they will line up for 2. They're unsuccessful their previous 4 attempts in this ball game. Again, they'll send Pollard in motion. Here's the handoff up the middle, and it's their first successful conversion of the night as Clark just strolls in for an easy 2.
And as much as you would like to have those other 4, it's big to start getting them now because, again, if you go forward scoring some more touchdowns, you obviously have a little confidence on those 2-point conversions, and at the same time, you give yourself 2 more points as you take that lead.
So now it stands 32-27. The Lions over the Irish, and this battle for Peoria continues to heat up here on a chilly night at Peoria Stadium. If you're just joining us, I'm Cody Roskins and Gavin Russell also with me in the booth tonight. Gavin, what more can we say about this game to this point other than it's just been big play after big play after big play?
We'll have to go back, the audience, if you have not joined us for the entirety of the broadcast, definitely go back, rewatch a lot of these big plays. There have just been so many of them, we can't really recap all of them. Both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively, both teams have come up in big ways. It's just going to be a matter of who can finish it out.
That's exactly right, and this third quarter continues to just heat up as we're getting to the latter stages of it. Once again, we're working with a not working scoreboard, I guess you could say, and so we're having Matt Harrington relay us time and such up into the booth. 4 minutes approximately remain. Fourth quarter, getting underway here.
The clue to me was the fact that they flipped the field.
Yes.
Now that we are in the fourth quarter. But one note here, on that last kickoff by Peoria High, they were so close to recovering that ball. I wonder if they go to something similar here. They could get a big recovery here. That would be absolutely huge.
They haven't let Hearn kick a ton of the onsides. They've usually had a second player come in and give it the toe. It's usually Kenny Rutherford, but instead they'll let Hearn take this one, and he'll send this one deep into the Peoria night. Crowd by PND and taken up just shy of the 25 to the 24. That was number 11 for PND, Jeremiah Flores, the junior running back, able to come up with it for the Irish.
In the top of the broadcast, I mentioned Charlie Dawson, who's their typical kick returner, obviously not able to really do much. They're not even putting him out there at this point because they're not really kicking it deep mostly. So maybe a thought there. Maybe they're neutralizing that part of the game where somebody like Dawson could break off a big return. Dawson
has had a number of good carries in this game. We'll set up first down and 10 at the 24 for Peoria Notre Dame. William Ludoff is the deep back with Elward in at quarterback. Backside handoff, cutting through a couple of Lion defenders. Nifty little running for a couple of yards. Call it about 3 that time for Alex Osmulski. That'll be, just about a gain of 3. And you got to like the tempo PND's going with. Not in a hurry, but they're efficient in what they're doing with a nice tempo.
Yeah, they're obviously not trying to grind down too much time. We're here in the final quarter now. They don't want to obviously waste any opportunities if they can't convert here. But at the same time, they're not rushing it. They're not trying to make mistakes, shoot themselves in the foot. Just getting and playing their game. All they need is a touchdown, and they'll put them in the lead again.
Second down, and we will blow this play dead. It'll be a false start going against the Irish. It looked like Mashinsky was the intended ball carrier. And that is indeed the case. False start, back them up 5 yards. We'll retry second down.
That's actually, a really big penalty there. It's 5 yards, but again, so much of the Irish game today has been getting those 3, 4, 5 yard carries, kind of grinding away and being able to convert on third or fourth down. Now that puts them all the way back, and it's already second down.
Yep, second down and 11. Elward once again at quarterback. Quarterback follow. Elward just not having the same success as they did in the first half. Swallowed up once more in the backfield, and it's a loss of about 2.5. Third down and 13 coming up for PND.
Curious to see how Peoria High plays this one. If they're aggressive and they can get another stop here, they may be able to force PND to, maybe consider a punt or something. PND can break off some yardage. They could be in a good spot on fourth down.
Third down and long coming up for the Irish as the Peoria High faithful rise to their feet and make a little noise. See if they can't be the difference for their defense. PND breaks the huddle. Elward in at quarterback. Alex Osmolski, nearest wing back to us here in the booth. Takes a snap, handoff, no. It's going to be a quarterback keep for Elward, and he's in trouble, and he's in a lot of trouble. Brought down for a huge loss by the Lions.
The aggressiveness, they did not shy away from. I wonder if they would, but I should not question Peoria High like that. They play all gas, no brakes right there. And, man, it really worked out in their benefit. I don't see how the Irish could go for it on the country mile fourth down.
It is fourth down and well north of a country mile. First down marker lies at the 35. Ball spotted back at pretty much the 11-yard line. I think they're going to be generous with that. It's pretty much right at the 10. But PND is going to have to pull out something here. Clark is back deep to return for the Lions. We haven't seen a ton of punts in this game. We did see the one earlier, but not a lot of damage done by it. So we will see. It looks like a timeout on the field. Charge to the Lions. So, Gavin, what could they be maybe thinking here with this timeout?
Well, I don't know if they're exactly expecting maybe a fake punt. Obviously, you do have to consider that, and they're probably going to talk that over briefly in the huddle. But you got to think. You just got to settle everybody down and be smart, because if somebody mistakenly touches that ball, the Irish could get that back and get the possession. So you really want to make sure everybody's on the same page with who's taking this ball, what to do exactly in every situation, whether it's rolling out of bounds or letting somebody return it. Again, definitely just making sure everybody's in the same frame of mind here ahead of a big fourth down that could hope, for the Lions, they hope that to get the ball back in pretty easy fashion.
Yeah, Gavin, I mean, this could be a big play here. I mean, fourth down, obviously, Peoria probably getting the ball back, but a number of things could happen. We've seen a couple of shaky recoveries on some kicks, on some onside. We've seen the big play be the story of the game tonight. If this was a baseball game, you would say the long ball has been the difference, and both teams have been striking quite often in that department. It's max protect on the punt as the Irish are able to get it away. Safe return here for the Lions. Clark will let this one roll all the way out of bounds to the 49-yard line. So good starting field position for the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is nothing that they can't handle there. Less than 50 yards to go. Smart of Clark not to even get near that ball. I've seen that so many times watching an array of different football games. Guys will get close to the ball, it bounces up, it hits off their leg, turns into a bad situation. So smart to just let that one go. You've got the ball back, and you can do your thing on offense.
So we will see Peoria High come out. It's been the Eddie Clark show here tonight.
Don't forget about Dietrich Pollard, though. Big play on that last touchdown. See if they maybe try to work in some of their other players.
There'll be a quarterback rollout here, and then they'll keep it. Gist not able to get much. Slung to the sideline, about a yard loss on the play. So second down and 11 coming up for Peoria High. And you're right, you cannot forget Pollard. He had the big touchdown run on the fly motion last time out. Haven't aired it out a ton, but that's just not the MO for this Peoria High team.
No, and again, they don't have the quarterback for right now. Next year, 2 years from now, that might be a little more their style, but they go with what works. It's the run game.
Hard count, doesn't get anybody to jump. Good job by the Irish to sit. Another fumbled snap. It's going to turn into a quarterback keep for Gist. Spins out of one tackle and somehow, I guess, spins his way to a gain of about 4 on a fumbled snap. We've seen that too often tonight for the Lions.
Lots of low snaps, and I mean, it's tough because the quarterback and the running back, they all want to just execute the play. Great awareness, though, to even get and recover that ball, get some yardage.
Hearn, nearest wide receiver to us for the Lions. Handoff is up the middle. Clark with a lead blocker. Clark with some green grass. And I was about ready to say he's off again, but another great run for number 3 in the backfield for the Lions. That's another Peoria High first down as we're just about 3 minutes eclipsed here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is a big drive. I'm not saying that they necessarily want to grind all the time down, but the more they can do, the better, because if they can get a touchdown here, extend their lead, and give the Irish very little time to work with.
Low snap again. Going to have to be a quarterback keep for Gist. Able to somehow fight out of that pile in the backfield and pick up about 3.
Yeah, that's been really tough. I wonder if the Lion is maybe just getting a little ahead of itself there. It's been pretty disciplined all night, but certainly something to clean up there as we have a Irish player down. Seems to be okay.
Getting up under his own power. Handoff. Once more, Clark over the pile. And that time, it's not a lot doing. You like the ambition there, but that's a dangerous play for Clark.
Well, he can only do so much, apparently. You know, he can't take on 7 or 8 defenders there. But we do have another hurt Irish player. Hopefully, for the Lions, they can kind of just continue to move this ball. We've seen a little bit of a struggle here to start out this drive. A couple of plays that just haven't gone their way. Some fumbled snaps and such, and again another play right there from Eddie Clark that just didn't move too far ahead. Looks like it's Angelo Hightower down with the injury.
We will take a quick second here just to catch our breath up here in the booth. I know players on the field definitely appreciate the free timeout. I'm sure not at this cost. And that is number 65 in white, Angelo Hightower, the senior offensive and defensive lineman, all 205 pounds of him. It's been going toe-to-toe with just about every offensive lineman tonight for Peoria High. They have been coming downhill all night.
Well, the nice thing is, and you know, you love to see it, great physical action, a lot of great plays. We have a drone.
That's a balloon. It looks like Gavin from
balloon.
senior night. We got a rogue balloon
you know
out
what? I
there.
thought it was a drone at first. Not exactly sure at first what that was, but it is a balloon.
Yeah, so, of course, we know number 3 worn by none other than Mr. Eddie Clark, the senior running back. Is that an omen? Do we have a foretelling of events here at Peoria Stadium as his senior night balloon has seemed to gone rogue off into the Peoria night sky?
It'll be interesting to see. Maybe it'll make another appearance. Maybe it'll get up too high and make another appearance. But going back to that injury, we have not seen a lot of injury tonight. Again, a lot of physical, fast action, and good to see everybody staying pretty much healthy.
Pollard in the slot for Peoria High. And, of course, Clark in the backfield. They'll move strong back over to the left. Still 3 wide receivers on the field and the 5 linemen. Gist out of the pistol will send Pollard in motion. And they will blow the play dead. This will be a false start going against the Lions.
I didn't see exactly who moved there.
It will be a false start against Peoria High. So as soon as you think they've got some momentum going here, they're kind of going back and forth. And the penalty will set them back 3rd down and 10, but 3rd down and long hasn't been a problem for them tonight.
No, this is a big drive. They can extend their lead out, chew a little clock, but they got to be able to convert here. They cannot get stopped up short.
Outside leverage by the corners here on the edges for PND. Pollard in motion, takes the snap, fakes it. Backside screen pass is open here for the Lions. Hearn trying to cut back inside is swallowed up immediately, but a good-looking play design trying to draw your eyes from sideline to sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from our vantage point, wasn't exactly sure how many yards he got quite at first, but as you look at it, look at the spot, got some good yardage off that. They need a big run or pass here. Big chance to convert on 4th down.
Just looking to the sideline on 4th down. Hard count doesn't get him to jump. 4th and about 4. Again, hard count does not work. Great discipline by PND. taking the snap, handing this one off up the middle. Clark just following. They'll run blockers up front. Initial mark as he is just short. I'm sure the officials will take a second to look. P&D says it should be their ball. Peoria High says they have it. And Clark says, how can you spot me that short? And it will indeed be just short. First down, Irish.
Couldn't exactly tell how far he got there. There were just a lot of bodies moving. He kind of got into that pile. It was very close either way. If he got it, it was just going to be maybe a half yard. If he got stopped, it was also just going to be about a half yard. So big stop there for the Irish, though. They do have a lot of field to work with, and again, they just need the one score to take the lead.
First down and 10 for the Irish. Do they have a drive in them that could give them back the lead? Handoff, backside, Alex Osmolski cutting it back up the middle. Alex Osmolski with the most exciting 7-yard run you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of chance there. Do you think they're just a couple of steps away from maybe breaking out with a huge play? We've seen that from, Brady Osmolski. We've seen now that from Alex Osmolski. We'll see maybe if they can continue that up here.
Another carry here up the middle into that sea of humanity once more. That should be good enough for an Irish first down, and it is, says the back judge.
Yeah, if you're Peoria High, you definitely got to reset after that. They beat you up a little bit on those first 2 downs at the drive. Got to make your presence felt like they had been. Definitely want to maybe try and back them up here, but another injured Irish player.
So we will stop play once more, and again, that's Hightower able to get back up. So again, we wait for the injured Hightower to make his way off under his own power. Hopefully, nothing too serious. Doesn't look to be that way, but we will not speculate. So we will see first down and 10 for PND as they try to once more lead this contest.
Again, a lot of field to work with here. There's a lot of chance for both teams to make a big play. See who can pull it off.
Elward under center, takes the handoff, goes to the backside counter. And Munchinski is swallowed up once more. Just a gain of about 2 to 3 yards. And it looks like the clamps are starting to tighten here for the Peoria defense. They've done a great job here in half number 2.
Yeah, they got kind of beat to start this drive, and like I mentioned, they just needed to tighten it up a little bit. Again, a lot of field. They just need to come up with that one set of downs where they get a big stop, maybe even force a turnover. We haven't seen a lot of that today either.
Elward, quarterback keep, will uncork a ball, going long, and it is incomplete, intended to the far sideline to William Tangle. And he was open by a couple of steps.
Man, that ball just seemed to hang in the air for a really long time, and got to give credit on that recovery. Did his best to get over there and, again, disrupted that pass. I think had it not been from the hit from the back there, he was catching that ball, probably going to fall down, but, again, avoided a lot of yards there. And, again, I'm thinking that they're wanting to uncork sometime. Elward does come up with something there.
One of the few passing attempts we've seen tonight for Peoria Notre Dame is Elward on third down and about 7. Fakes the handoff, now going back to Alex Osmolski along the sideline. Cuts back inside, and he's got another PND first down.
Really nice play there. Again, I think they had him a little bit fooled. Maybe expecting a little bit of that quarterback keeper again or something up the middle. An array of things that Irish can do with the ball. Got to be on the...
And late bodies running off here for Peoria. They do get off just in time. Quarterback pass into the flats. It's caught and hauled in with green grass in front of him. Charging down the sideline and finally wrapped up at about the 24-yard line. That was number 8, William Ludoff, faking the carry out of the backfield, leaking out, and he had some big yardage there for the Irish.
I believe those are the only 2 true passing attempts we've seen all night on this drive. They're certainly looking to open up the field a little bit, exploiting the Lions' aggressiveness. Now this puts the Lions in a vulnerable spot. They obviously want to keep that aggressiveness, shut down the run game, but they got to start thinking more about that passing, especially with Elward in as the quarterback.
Less than 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this one here in quarter number 4. We've got a good one between the Lions and the Irish. Elward hands this one off, full head of steam running, and the legs continue to turn across the 20. It's Peoria Notre Dame. This is where they like to be. Low clock, short field. They could eat up a lot of this clock.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what they're going to want to do, because even if they score, you give the Lions a minute and a half, anything is possible. Even if the Irish try to drop back a little bit, anything is possible. So definitely trying to chew up some clock while they make this drive.
Elward under center, takes a snap. Backside handoff, Alex Osmulski jukes to the right. Osmulski is gone. Touchdown Irish.
Huge play. The Osmulskis have been coming up huge today. That's the player of the game, Osmulski. The last name Osmulski's big on the Irish tonight.
According to Gavin, if we could give a player to the game award to two people, they'd both have the last name Osmulski, and he provides a critical touchdown with less than 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this one, as PND now stands at 30-32. They will line up for the 2-point try to try and draw even here. So this is a very critical play call. Again, a team not usually accustomed to going for two all that often. We'll see them come out in the wing tee.
4:30-32.
Quarterback pass into the flats, wide open, and we got a tie ball game at Peoria Stadium.
Really well drawn up there, and they're going to the passing. They're going to the air attack. Again, not something they're accustomed to typically, but it's coming up big on this drive. 3 plays in particular, they've come out on the pass, and it's worked out.
And I do stand corrected. Again, no working scoreboard. I had to have a word ran into me. It's 35-32, PND over Peoria High, so my apologies to our listeners there. But we've got a heck of a finish coming down the stretch here, Gavin.
Yeah, I was thinking, again, no working scoreboard. It's hard to, keep everything straight.
That's why I'm a comm major, right? I'm a comm major because I didn't have to do math growing up.
That's okay. But, yeah, there's a lot of time left for Peoria High. And, not a ton within the rest of this game overall. But for Peoria High, that's more than enough time to get the ball down and score. And, again, just 3-point game. All they need is a touchdown. They don't need a 2-point conversion. They just got to get a touchdown, and they can win this game.
So we will have short, as our on-field technician will call him tonight, Matt Harrington relaying to us just 3:03 left remaining on the clock. So 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining left in the fourth quarter in a 35-32 ball game led by the Peoria Notre Dame Irish. And Elward has come in and commanded the show here in the fourth. This is a kickoff that'll sail past the 20 and die right at the 16. This has got to be returned. Cutting it upfield is Clark. Clark trying to get to the sideline. Clark with a little bit of green grass. How does this sound if you're a Lions fan? Clark down the sideline. Can he get a block? He can. Clark trying to outrun everybody. Touchdown Lions, but there is a flag. And Peoria Notre Dame is celebrating like this is coming back.
Unbelievable. I mean, this has just been a crazy turn of events. Probably going to hit him with a block in the back here, which is just incredibly unfortunate.
We'll wait for the official word, and here it comes. And this is an illegal block in the back against the Lions, so that great kick return touchdown will come back, and then we'll march it off from the spot of the foul. But, Gavin, walk us through it.
Well, it's seriously unfortunate that comes back. I mean, you get yourself the lead, you get yourself the touchdown, but he comes from absolutely nothing and makes something huge of that play, cuts to the outside. You can see how that speed is good. A lot of credit to the blockers out there to get out, make that space for Eddie Clark. Nothing else. They have outstanding field position. They need to just do their thing, no worry about the clock, and again, a great opportunity to score here despite the penalty.
Just a shade under 3 minutes to go here at Peoria Stadium. Gist out of the pistol. Handoff up the middle and swallowed up at the line of scrimmage as Eddie Clark. And Peoria Notre Dame is looking to try and put the screws down in this one, Gavin. They are trying to find one stop in this game.
Well, for Notre Dame here, they bend, don't break. They gave up a big return, cannot break.
Handoff once more up the middle to Clark with a little bit of a running lane, tripped up. Just shy of the first down by about a yard. So we'll have 3rd down and a yard coming up for the Lions.
And again, in these late game situations, even though the Lions have 2 downs to work with, 3rd down feels big.
Handoff up the middle. He's got the 1st down and a little bit more as the clock continues to run. Not necessarily the biggest worry in the world for Peoria High, maybe so for PND. It's 1st down at about the 15, so the 1st down lies just at the 5. And we will have a charged timeout taken by Peoria Notre Dame. So they have 1 left, if I'm not mistaken, Gavin.
Yes, they do have 1 left. And again, that's not a bad timeout taken right there. Again, Peoria High getting up to the line very, very quickly, as they have all night. And at the same time, you're trying to preserve as much clock as possible if the Lions do find themselves in the end zone with the lead. Again, preserving time is big, but you got to think, too, here in high school, when you get the 1st downs, when the chains move, the clock is briefly stopped so for the chain gang to get up along. So there's a few seconds in there that might be saved. For the Irish, again, you want to hold here. You don't want to allow a score, but at the same time, you want to give yourself as much time as possible just in case.
How is this for some Thursday night lights, as Gavin referenced so earlier in the broadcast? I'm not sure how the NFL game's going tonight, but quite frankly, who cares, Gavin? We have got one of the best games we've seen this season unfolding in front of us.
Yeah, there's not been a ton of great Thursday night football, but in Peoria, there is amazing Thursday night football tonight, and hopefully we've got some more viewers watching as we come down the stretch here in this big game.
Handoff up the middle to Clark, weaving between a couple of guards and swallowed up as they tried to pull inside on that play. Not a lot doing, about a yard gain.
Yeah, not bad. Again, you're going to chew up a little clock. You're going forward. Ball security is big too. Can't give up the ball in this situation.
Low snap once more. Handoff. Clark dicing it back towards the middle, and he again is just short of that 1st down. Another 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, again, about an 8-yard run. I've been saying all night long that's about his average. About an 8-yard run. So again, another big pickup by Eddie Clark.
Handoff up the middle. Clark jukes to the left, trying to keep the pile moving by himself. Play finally blown dead. And this should be a 1st down and goal coming up for Peoria. From the 4-yard line, is it any mystery where this is going? Clark dots the pistol formation. Handoff. Clark, left-hand side, just short in Peoria Notre Dame, with a 2nd down and goal coming from about the 2 or 3 yard line.
You actually don't hate that. Obviously, you want to get yourself in the end zone. You know, we don't want to say that, but they're absolutely chewing up a little more clock here.
They'll move everybody to the right-hand side here. Handoff up the middle. He might have been stuffed again. He is just short. It's 3rd down and goal, and time becomes a factor even more so if this ends up in the end zone.
Well, I guess we can't automatically assume he'll get it, but yeah, you definitely want to get it here. Leave nothing to chance.
Handoff, Clark to the end zone. Touchdown Lions as PND surrenders 1 late.
Well, for PND, obviously they started to hold there on 1st and 2nd down, but at the end of the day, you give yourself a chance with a little time here. Maybe giving up that touchdown isn't the worst thing in the world in that situation. So we'll see if maybe they can respond, a little more time to work with here as Lions move the ball pretty quickly down the field.
So 38-35 now. Stands for Peoria High. They will try for the 2-point try. Out of the pistol once more. Gist drops to throw, fade pattern, backside. Hearn got it, book it, 2 more points for the Lions.
Really nice play there, and you know, even though we don't see a ton of big kickers in high school, that does eliminate the possibility of the Irish tying this game up with a field goal. So it's touchdown or nothing. Obviously, the Lions would have liked to get some of those earlier conversions to maybe seal this game away at this point. But once again, it's just got to play in the moment, got to just be better now, and we'll see if the Irish can respond. They've responded tonight many, many times. We'll see if they can do it again.
I just radioed down to Matt what time is left on the clock. He said he'll run to the official and try and get us the next available time that he can, which will probably be following up after this kickoff. But we imagine it's got to be around a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. That was a longer drive than Peoria, given the short field. But we will see Peoria High kick this one off, leading 40-35 over PND. And the Irish looking for one more touchdown drive in them.
See if the Irish still kind of defend this potential onside kick, or if they maybe try to send somebody deeper here, I would assume the Lions would want this ball deep.
So 35 seconds left in the game. My guess was way off. I'm just going to quit trying math at this point. This one will be a return. Again, 35 seconds when this play started, wrapped up, and it's an extremely long field with now about 30 seconds left.
So this is unusual. The defense for the Lions, obviously, they play full steam. They want to get themselves up there to make a big play. But at the same time, you don't want the Irish to break off for a big play here, to drop back for a pass. So I wonder if they actually do play a little more conservative in this situation. But it's Peoria High. You never really know.
Live and die by who you are on the field. It's first down and 10. 32 seconds left on the game clock for PND to go all the way down the field. From their own 26, we have a timeout charged to the Lions. Gavin, if you're calling the plays for PND, and I know you're not, I know you kind of touched on it, maybe a little more conservative for the Peoria side. If you're Peoria Notre Dame, how are you attacking this drive?
Well, I would maybe try to throw them off like with a play action of some sort, because a lot of those players are going to gravitate and maybe try to get the run. A play action has worked, and we saw one pass that ended up incomplete, but it was nearly complete, I should say. You know, we'll maybe see if the Irish just kind of go to the air game to just try to break off a big chunk of yardage, even though that's not their strong suit. Really, though, it's going to dictate how Peoria High comes out on defense.
So, again, 32 seconds left here in quarter number 4. The timeout was taken, according to Matt Harrington, because Peoria didn't have enough members on the field, so they only had 10 on the field. So here we go. From the 26-yard line, does Peoria Notre Dame have an all-time classic finish in it? Elward, one of the 2 senior quarterbacks, will take the snap. Fakes the handoff. It's a pass, wanting to unload one. Under duress, finally lets it go, and it is caught with room to run. It's lured. Finally strung down is William Ludolph. Timeout will not be taken just yet. The clock will stop momentarily as they reset the chains. Peoria Notre Dame to the line. Will they spike it? Waiting for the ready for play whistle. They say run the clock. Under center, hard count and a spike. And we may have a false start against Peoria Notre Dame. That it is indeed the case. The clock will still stop.
I'm just absolutely in shock over here about what's going on in this game. I mean, I think at this point, if you're Peoria High, if I'm calling the plays, I'm throwing a safety or 2 back in the secondary to help out those cornerbacks. They're getting beat, and now we see the most receivers we've seen all night.
Empty back end for Peoria High. They go out into the spread. Quarterback rollout. Ludolph is the blocker, throwing this one over the middle in contested airspace, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted off the shoulder pad.
We're getting all the excitement that we want in this game, and I think at this point, where it's going to come down to a lot of passing, maybe a little screen to get out of bounds. We're just going to get a lot of action here in this final set.
9 seconds remain. Just 9 seconds remain between these two same city rivals, Peoria Notre Dame and Peoria High, having an all-time classic here tonight. Peoria Notre Dame with just 9 seconds to cover 40 yards of natural grass. They'll come out with 4 wide receivers. Ludolph, once again, is the running back. Elward out of the pocket, and we have a timeout taken by Peoria High.
Really good timeout there. You hear about icing the kicker, so to speak, on a big field goal. Maybe you ice the play a little bit. You get in their head a little bit. At the same time, you get everybody on the same page. Maybe you revisit your defensive set there if you're Coach Thornton as he kind of gets up into the huddle there. That's actually the defensive coordinator, I should say. But get everybody on the same page, regroup a little bit, maybe get into the mind of Peoria Notre Dame.
So here we go, 9 seconds. Once again, we'll set the scene for you. 9 seconds on the clock. Got to go 40 yards against the rival school that you share the same stadium with. Does it get much better than this on a Thursday? Gavin Russell. I mean, what a game we've had tonight. It's been back and forth, seesaw affair. We've seen everything from long touchdowns, exciting kick returns, costly penalties, sacks, turnovers, you name it, we've had it in this ball game.
This is one of the more classic games Clutch Sports Media has ever seen. We've seen a lot of great games this year, but this might be towards the top of the charts. just a great game. We expected nothing less, and again, it's getting everybody excited. Everybody's on their feet, ready to go for the final 9.
Both Peoria native schools rise to their feet as P&D with 3 wide receivers into the near boundary. 9 seconds on the clock. Elward shouting out the audible. Ludolph is the running back. Time winding down on the play clock. Here's the snap, dropping back to throw. Going long, down the far side, man open, incomplete.
And the Notre Dame sideline is seriously bargaining for a flag right there. They might have a bit of a case. Look like some of it a hold, and that is the game.
And that's the game, you're right, Kevin. The clock will hit 0, and Peoria Notre Dame watches as one sails over the head of their far wide receiver, and the Peoria High Lions celebrate, storming the field, players falling to the turf in what was an all-timer between these two.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, obviously the lack of a scoreboard is going to throw everybody off with the timing and whatnot. Seriously, just a classic game. One big heave at the end of the game, and man, we really could not have asked for anything more.
So in a battle of 2 teams sharing the same city, same stadium, and the same record, one of those 2 teams is Peoria High, improving to their 7th win on the season. And for Peoria Notre Dame, they will fall to 6-3 on the year. We won't quite cast off just yet, but I want to give a great shout out to our production crew tonight. Of course, Joey Wright is our producer tonight. Evan Johnson running camera. Jacob Steinberg down on the field with photography and highlights. And Matt Harrington, maybe the MVP of the broadcast tonight, down on the field relaying us information as far as scores, injured players, penalties. And of course, I'm Cody Roskins in the booth with Gavin Russell. But Gavin, just your quick post-game thoughts, if you can even put them into words.
This is really hard, and once again, I'd suggest if you were not here for the entirety of this game, go back and rewatch most or all of it. There was action from start to finish. The momentum was swinging. I mean, really, there's not a way to really recap the game. You just have to see it for yourself. Big takeaway, though, for Peoria High, got to be Eddie Clark. But at the same time, the second half, Lions expanded the playbook a little bit and utilized some of their other players. Really an overall solid game from Peoria High, but Notre Dame played a really solid game as well.
They did indeed. They had to kind of go deep into the bench tonight. Elward came off the pine, played a little bit of quarterback in the 4th quarter and late 3rd quarter. We saw the second of the Osmolsky brothers coming at wingback. Alex, he filled in great. We saw, of course, the injury to Brady Osmolsky, and that was kind of the turning point. He scores the touchdown to come off. They don't really score since then until late in the 4th quarter. But again, what a great game we had here at Peoria Stadium. Once again, for everybody, a part of our Clutch Sports Media crew, I'm Cody Roskins, signing off for Gavin Russell. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and have a great rest of your week.